It's Friday, October 31st. Today, given the green light, City Council approves a plan to expand Route 90. How much it's expected to cost. A community in mourning. A Winnipeg high school football player passes away after a devastating injury. And a difficult decision. Families are faced with the choice of tuning into the World Series or heading out to trick or treat. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween. We're having a Halloween howl this morning throughout the show. We're going to feature all kinds of different spooky things. We're going to visit the Winning home with the spooky address. They've decorated in all the spooky fun, and Ainsley McPhail is going to be live there. I'm a gothic princess this morning.
You're looking good.
You are looking good too.
Waldo, where am I? Your Morning Winnipeg.
It looks good. It looks good, and we're going to have so much fun this morning, so stay tuned for that. But the weather, what's it going to be like when those kids head out today?
I'm going to call this a little scary forecast for you. Honestly, it's cool, it's windy. The winds will probably be the worst of it because while they're right now 21 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast, they are likely to be getting a lot stronger later on today. It's 2 degrees right now. That's technically still above seasonal. -5 would be that normal low. So we're still in the plus digits this morning. With the pressure rising, the humidity is sitting at 93%. We will deal, though, with those heavier clouds and the possibility some scattered showers. I'll look at the satellite image right now and you can see the green showing up. It's still green though. We're not really seeing much of the gray. Maybe a couple of places that there could be a flurry or two tucked in there. But this will be all through southern Manitoba. For northern Manitoba, you can just see like the little specks of flurry activity. Not a very organized system at all, but the heavier clouds will be noticed across the province. That possibility of precipitation kind of carries us right into the afternoon and through trick-or-treating hours, or perhaps some flurries through parts of northern Manitoba. So it is going to be windy as well. I mentioned that breeze increasing. And then tomorrow, still with some stronger winds, but they're going to be shifting out of the south. That will set us up for the warmer air. I've been promising warmer temps all weekend. And it does still look like we're going to get that and some sunshine too. Overnight into Sunday morning, we could get some passing precipitation, but then it moves up into central Manitoba, and that's where it'll hang around through most of the day. Let's get out of the way so you can see your trick-or-treat forecast. So 4 degrees, that's probably what we're going to be dealing with around those trick-or-treating hours. Again, stronger winds and that possibility of precipitation. So there is a chance of showers today, but the warm-up is coming with some double digits and some sunshine as we're looking to the end of the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. A plan to expand Route 90 has officially been given the green light from City Hall. The anticipated price tag is more than $750 million, funded solely by debt. Council voted 11-2 in favor of the Kenaston widening and St. James Bridge refurbishment project. According to a report before City Hall, $5 million will be earmarked to pay for property acquisitions in the area. Mayor Scott Gillingham is defending the pricey project, saying it's about unlocking the potential for a regional trade route.
And so there's a lot more residential traffic on that north-south route. But also we know that the Naui Odina Canada Lands Treaty 1 project will see up to 3,100 residential units built right there right near the corner of Grant and Kenaston. We also know that up to 1 million square feet of commercial space will be added. And so to accommodate the growth that's going to come right in that area, we need to widen the street.
St. Boniface Councillor Matt Allard and newly sworn in Elmwood East Kildonan Councillor Emma Durand-Wood voted against it. Construction is set to begin no later than 2027. There's frustration on the road for many drivers in Winnipeg as the city works on wrapping up another season of construction. But one sore spot is really grinding people's gears. This section of portage between Cavalier and Sturgeon has been under construction since the middle of summer, and there's word it may not be completed until spring. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows its impact.
Customers of ACR Auto Glass are adding a lot of extra time to get there lately.
Sometimes, traffic's backed up to the Grace Hospital and beyond. Customers complaining of 45-minute to 60-minute wait times to get down Portage Avenue.
Chris Shea, general manager of the shop, says road construction on Portage Avenue between Sturgeon Road and Cavalier Drive has been a hassle since midsummer. It's a lengthy stretch of construction and drivers are waiting in both directions.
The traffic is wild. Customers complaining constantly of wait times, or the worst is, end of the day traffic, that 2:30 to 5 o'clock time when customers are coming back to pick up vehicles.
And his business is not the only one impacted. Shay's neighbor, Dean Davis, runs Earl's Automotive. He says it's been an excruciating wait for parts he has to order to service vehicles. His suppliers can't get through the lines of cars.
The delay on getting the parts have gone from 15 minutes to sometimes an hour and a half. And they're just down the street.
City of Winnipeg Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says this is one of the longest road projects ever, 15.66 lane kilometers. This number is a total of 4 lanes in each direction and will cost $5.3 million. Luke says losing 12 to 14 days of rain has been a factor, but boots should have been on the ground earlier.
People are frustrated, and I feel their pain. I think personally, the city and the consulting firm should have got that project out the door sooner.
More October rain is delaying the project to next spring, according to Luke's. Davis says working on both sides of such a major artery was a mistake.
I don't think it was the right decision. It just caused way too much traffic and disruption with every business along Portage here. It's just been stupid, period.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We reached out to the city to learn more about the timelines to complete the project and to find out what has caused the delays. They acknowledged our request and said they are working on getting us a response. We have not yet heard back. Prime Minister Mark Carney called his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping this morning a turning point. The two leaders met on the sidelines of the APEC summit in South Korea. The meeting lasted for about 30 minutes. During that time, President Xi invited Prime Minister Carney to visit China. This invitation is seen as a significant forward in repairing relations between Canada and China. China has hit Canada with tariffs on canola, pork, and seafood. This as Ottawa maintains its tariff on electric vehicles made in China. This was the first official meeting between President Xi and a Canadian Prime Minister in 7 years. In an unprecedented move, King Charles has stripped his younger brother, Andrew, of his royal titles and his home over his links to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
I am pretty astonished, I have to say. This is the strongest action against a member of the royal family.
Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He has also been evicted from his royal residence, which is a 30-room mansion where he reportedly lived rent-free for the past 2 decades. His ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, also has to move out. The royals have been facing growing public pressure over Andrew's ties to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Andrew's daughters, Princesses Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, will keep their titles. The Winnipeg Jets top line were firing on all cylinders at home last night against the Chicago Blackhawks.
This guy Connor weaves his way in. Connor, Shifley fires, scores!
That was Mark Shifley's 9th goal of this season, placing him in a 5-way tie for the title of leading league scorer. The Jets down the Blackhawks 6-3. Winnipeg hosts the Pittsburgh Penguins Saturday afternoon. Puck drop at Canada Life Centre is at 2 p.m. It's holiday versus history, with families choosing between trick-or-treating and the first pitch of the World Series.
Watching them win was exhilarating, but also, this is exhilarating for me too, so it's a conflict between the two.
Longtime Jays fan Christopher Aernotts turns his front yard into a yard haunt for Halloween. But this year, he is convinced everyone will be back inside their homes for the start of the Jays game. Others say they're setting up a TV outside. There are also some watch parties going on around the country that will most likely be a mashup of Blue Jays pride and scary costumes. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation around Kennison and Sterling Lyon Way. Looks like there are no issues to tell you about in this part of the city at this point in the drive. If you see any problems, let us know. Please text them to us at 10400. Well, it's Halloween, and veterinarians want to make sure everyone in the family has a good time. CTV's Gates Guarin has more on how to keep pets safe and comfortable on what can be a stressful night.
Costume treat seekers will soon be going door to door to get their fill. But chocolate and candy left in reach of pets could end up doing some serious harm.
There's a sugar molecule called xylitol that when ingested can cause severe low blood sugar in dogs, can even cause them to have a seizure.
Veterinarian Marie Hollowaychuk says it's best to keep candy bags off the floor where curious dogs and cats can't get to them. That doesn't mean they can't have a Halloween treat of their own.
plain pumpkin, unpainted, unglittered, no wax. You can puree that and give your animal a little treat because that is what they like a lot.
Candy isn't the only thing that could upset our pets. Costumes, decorations, and noises of people coming and going can be overwhelming. Brenda Leonard with Scars says the best way to help is by creating a safe space in your home.
It's really best if you can keep your animals away from the door in a nice room, set them up with maybe TV or radio going and some treats in there until all the commotion is finished with.
And if your pet is getting in on the costumes, find one that's lightweight and doesn't block their vision to keep them comfortable. If your pet is tagging along trick-or-treating, both Leonard and Hollowaychuk say to make sure they have ID and are chipped, and to keep dogs on a leash.
We want Halloween to be fun for everybody, and of course that includes our pets. So we want this to be enjoyable.
And remembering just a few tips can make Halloween not just fun for pets, but safe too. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Dogs in costumes. Nothing better than that.
Agreed, 100%.
So sweet. What's going on out there, Waldo?
So I put an extra layer on under this jacket today because, I wore the rain, like the water repellent jacket. But then I thought, ooh, it might not be warm enough because these winds, you need something that's windproof, waterproof, and warm. It's only 2 degrees out here this morning, but that breeze is already noticeable and it's only going to get stronger. It's a 24K wind right now out of the north-northeast with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 93%. We're going to see some heavier clouds hanging around once again. The sun won't be up till I think around 8:16 this morning, so I'm just standing out here in darkness, and we're not going to be seeing much in the way of that sunshine even once it does rise, and that'll be the case across the entire province. And then, of course, there is that chance of precipitation as well. Basically, the northern half of the province has the possibility of more flurry form. The southern half of the province more likely to see that precipitation in liquid form, but it's not going to be balmy by any means. We'll be barely above what is normal for this time of year, with 4 degrees being a normal daytime high. We might get to about 5 today. Everything warms up after today. It's just that today we're not getting those ideal conditions for trick-or-treating. So again, waterproof, windproof, and warm so that the little stay comfortable through the trick-or-treating hours, and then the warm-up will come on the other side of this. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. Some devastating news involving a Winnipeg high school student who sustained a spinal injury during a football game earlier this month. Winnipeg School Division says Darius Hartshorn, a grade 12 student at Sisler High School, died Wednesday night. In a statement, the division offered its condolences, saying support services will be made available at the school. This news comes nearly 2 weeks after the teen sustained a neck injury during a football game between Sisler and Tekvok high schools. A family member told CTV News the injury happened on the first play of the game, calling it a bad collision and a fluke play. A moment of silence was held for the teen in the Manitoba legislature Thursday. Afterwards, PC leader and former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Abhi Khan shared an emotional tribute to Darius.
Darius turned 17 on Saturday. Sad to see a life taken so soon. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, your family, your loved ones, classmates, and everyone at Sisler. May you rest in peace, Darius. Doing something you love, playing a sport, one of the hardest things you can go through, and as a parent, my heart breaks for you.
I know that so many Manitobans have reached out to express just how sad this situation is. So as we offer our collective condolences to Darius and Darius's family, we want to ensure that perhaps there is some comfort for you during this difficult time, knowing that the entire province is behind you.
An online fundraiser was set up when the teen was injured to help with those costs. As of Thursday night, it has raised $53,000. Prime Minister Mark Carney got a personal look Thursday at the South Korean contender to replace Canada's aging submarine fleet. CTV's Judy Trin now with just how vital it's becoming to get new Canadian subs in the water.
This is Hanwha's KSS-3 submarine, launched into the sea just in time for the Prime Minister's visit. Mark Carney climbed down 7 meters to check out what the South Koreans want Canada to buy.
I told him we can build a submarine in 6 years.
The Royal Canadian Navy needs to begin replacing its aging fleet by 2035. Of its 4 submarines, only 1 is operational, the others in maintenance.
It's the only technology in the Navy that guarantees that we control our waters. We get to say who comes into our waters, and if they don't have our permission, then we can keep them out.
Hanwha uses robot technology to build its submarines, which will cost about $2 billion each. It's competing with a German-Norwegian venture, Carney toured TKMS over the summer. Its state-of-the-art vessel is still in production. During a visit to Ottawa last week, the CEO didn't provide a cost estimate.
And of course, we will calculate on a base what the customer wants to have, which capabilities should the submarine have. So for us, I think it's too early to shout out a price range.
The Navy wants to buy 12 new submarines. The successful bid must also benefit Canada.
Factors like industrial benefits for the country, the use of Canadian inputs, materials like steel, the timeliness of the delivery of a submarine, for example, will be important for us.
The federal government says it will choose the winning submarine contractor in 2026, but it could happen earlier. Judy Trin, CTV News, Koje, South Korea.
There is an urgent need for food, fuel, and supplies in countries hit by Hurricane Melissa. In Jamaica, people are trying to get anything they can at the grocery stores. Long lines stretch outside of gas stations. Electricity remains out for most of the island after Hurricane Melissa made landfall as a Category 5. Officials in Jamaica have confirmed 19 people have died in the country from the storm. 30 people are now confirmed to have died in Haiti. Governments and aid groups are organizing support for storm-affected countries. A motion at Winnipeg City Hall wants to see curbside compost collection be done in-house and not contracted out to a private company. Right now, anyone unable to compost kitchen waste themselves has to drop it off at one of the city depots located throughout the city. The city plans to start curbside pickup in 2030. A motion put forward by St. Vital City Councillor Brian Mays says the city could do the work itself at a cost comparable to hiring a private company and could save money through joint equipment purchases with other jurisdictions. The motion also says it can provide entry-level city jobs to members of disadvantaged communities. The motion still needs full council approval. Lots going on this weekend. Halloween today, a possible Jays Game 7 on Saturday. Perfect timing for a clock change. A friendly reminder, daylight saving time ends on Sunday. This means clocks go back an hour at 2 a.m. for most of the country. It's an extra hour of sleep, which could work out for a lot of people. And going forward, the sun comes up earlier, but sets earlier as well. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The lane will be closed starting today on Carlton Street from Graham to St. Mary Avenue. The westbound curb and middle lanes are set to close on Notre Dame between Kate and Furby. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please text them to us at 10400.
Looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. A few clouds out there right now, which will only continue to stack up through the day today. Mainly cloudy conditions across the entire province, but with those clouds come those slightly milder temperatures, so we do still remain a little bit above seasonal when -5 would be a normal low temperature. We're coming in at 2 degrees. You can see it's even milder in other parts just to the west of us, just to the north of us. Gimli, 6 degrees for you to begin the day. There's a lot of 4s here through southwestern Manitoba, a couple of 1s in Swan River and over in Kenora as well. Moving further into the north, 0 degrees in the Pas, and then slipped just below the freezing mark. We've got Thompson and Lynn Lake, just a 1 or 3 degrees below 0 right now. The heavier clouds, yes, and that bit of precipitation in shower form here across southern Manitoba. If you do see anything, and I mean, everybody has a slim chance of precipitation today, but if you do see it, it'll likely remain in shower form here in the south. But for northern Manitoba, a very real possibility of a few flakes of snow to be flying today. 3 degrees as kids get settled into the classroom, 5 degrees by lunchtime, and holding steady with that 5 by the time they're coming home today. We might get up to 6 degrees. That's actually for tomorrow. And then the warm up continues with the double digits waiting for us this weekend. So this is where things are going to be looking and feeling good. But today we're not just dealing with those cool temperatures, although still technically above seasonal, but it's going to be windy as well. So that's what you're going to want to dress for as you're headed out trick-or-treating tonight. And our weather picture, I don't know where this lawn is, but if you happen to have this on your trick-or-treating route, lucky you. This looks like a lot of fun. Thanks to Farron for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. A family in Minnesota has turned their garden into a community pantry. Anyone can stop by and grab a few items, no questions asked. People in their neighborhood call it the local veggie library. The library started as a way for the family to get rid of some extra produce. They have now partnered with local businesses to expand the project. The number of Canadians crossing the border has been steadily dropping, and a new survey finds it's likely to continue well into next year. CTV's Pat Foran has more on snowbirds choosing other destinations.
More Canadians are turning their backs on travel to the U.S., deciding to either stay home or choose sunny destinations somewhere else. A survey by the Travel Health Insurance Association of Canada found that only 26% are likely to go to the U.S. That's a 37% drop from last year. The survey found of those 61 years of age and older, only 10% are likely to go to the U.S. That's a 66% drop from the year before.
We've certainly seen a move by some to get away from maybe ownership or long-term rentals in the U.S. in favor of other southern climates.
The survey found Canadians are concerned about rising travel costs, political tensions, exchange rates, and safety. The shift comes at a time when the U.S. is introducing new entry requirements, which mean Canadians staying for longer than 30 days need to register and provide their fingerprints, be photographed, and pay a $30 fee.
Having your photo taken and your fingerprints done feels really weird and wrong to us, but the reality is many countries all over the world have already been doing this for the last decade.
Travel expert Barry Choi says while travel to the U.S. is down, he believes many families will continue to go to U.S. attractions, but keep a lower profile and not post on social media. He says snowbirds that own property in the U.S. will also find it hard to stay away.
If someone's a snowbird and they own a vacation home in Florida or Arizona, of course they're going to go.
Canadians avoiding the States are also planning to spend winter months in Europe, including Portugal and Spain. Trips to Mexico and the Caribbean will also depend on the weather and the cost of travel. If American destinations cut prices, it may be enough for some to reconsider a U.S. trip.
If some of the U.S. destinations start to go on sale, maybe that easy trip over the border still prevails.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Halloween is today, and a new poll is showing how many Canadians will be taking part in the fun. The poll, conducted on behalf of the Retail Council of Canada, found 3/4 of households across the country have bought candy for the big night, and about half also bought a pumpkin. When it comes to putting up new decor, the poll found 3 in 10 stocked up in decorations, while just 1/4 bought a costume this year. A pair of grade 7 boys has made one smashing school project. Casper and Connor had some help from Connor's dad to make this gigantic trebuchet. It's a tradition for senior students at their school to build catapults every year. The students then compete to see who can shoot pumpkins the furthest. Pretty cool.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Happy Halloween, Terry. A big day indeed for many kids who will be heading out to get some candy, but what's the weather going to be like?
Well, that's just it. We remember as kids like needing to plan that Halloween costume so that it could fit over a parka. Thankfully, we're not needing parkas necessarily, but it is going to be cool enough that you'll want at least a few extra layers to be able to fit under that costume. A windproof layer and maybe a waterproof layer too. It's 2 degrees right now with winds out of the north-northeast, 24 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 93%. It's feeling cool out there, mostly due to the winds, which are only going to get stronger throughout the day today. As far as precipitation goes, here's a look at the satellite image, and it's some shower activity moving through parts of southern Manitoba. Any chance of precipitation through central or northern Manitoba could be showing up as a few flakes of snow, but for everybody it's actually a fairly slim chance. Now, that possibility is there, certainly, but it's more so the winds. They're going to add the bit of a bite today. They're going to be moving out of the northwest and at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. So that's why I say you need that windproof layer and then a waterproof layer just in case of those scattered showers. 5 degrees, that's our expected high today, but that will be dropping off by the time kids are headed out trick-or-treating. We'll be down to about about 4 degrees, and depending how long they stay out, dropping down to about 3. So certainly those are the temperatures that you're going to be dressing for later today. -1 is where we'll eventually dip to in the overnight hours, with those heavier clouds lingering. Things will start to clear out for tomorrow. We're likely to get a little bit of sunshine back. It's not going to be a warm day by any means, but when you compare it to what is normal, 4 degrees being a seasonal daytime high, we'll do a couple better than that, getting up to 6 degrees. And again, some winds this time around, though, out of the south. It will bring up some warmer air. We'll benefit from that on the other side of the weekend as we're wrapping things up on Sunday and continuing into next week. We've got not just the sunshine back, but some double-digit temperatures, and then falling back to those more seasonal temperatures through the middle or end of next week.
Thank you, Terry. RCMP have allegedly uncovered a significant stash of weapons, ammunition, cigarettes, and stolen property in southeastern Manitoba. Tuesday, officers from several RCMP teams, plus the St. Anne Police Department, executed search warrants on 2 properties near Zoda. Here's what they found: more than 10 firearms, ammo, and more than 40 cartons of unstamped cigarettes. RCMP say some of the guns were reported as stolen. They also recovered other stolen property, including a hydraulic press and a generator. A 42-year-old man from Zoda is in custody. He's facing a long list of charges for weapons and possession of stolen property crimes, as well as failing to comply with a release order. Officers also arrested 2 women. They were both released with a future court date. Manitobans will be paying a little more for natural gas this winter. The Public Utilities Board of Manitoba approved a rate increase for November 1st of this year. The PUB approved increases to both the basic monthly and the delivery rate for natural gas. It said the average residential customer will see a 6.3% increase from their August rate. This means the average household will pay an additional $3 a month or $38 a year. The PUB said the increase is due to its expectation that natural gas purchase prices will rise over the next year. This means Manitoba Hydro will pay more for its natural gas supply. Natural gas rates will be reviewed again in 3 months. An apology Thursday from the Canadian Armed Forces to current and former members who faced racism and harassment. It's an important move, but is it enough? CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports on how it's landing with some of those who served.
Reuben Coward has been out of the military longer than he was in it, but the trauma after years of painful encounters ranging from racial slurs to being passed over for promotions still affect him and his family.
This is wrong on every conceivable level. And for people that are supposed to be purportedly educated and fair-minded, I've seen a disconnect in their actions.
But decades after Coward's retirement, military members continue to face racism and sexism on the job.
It was extremely hard because I joined when I was 16 years old.
Jay Day says the first racial slur came early in her 17-year career.
I started to receive a lot of negative comments based on my skin color, based on being a very petite woman as well. And that just trickled into so many other feelings of not really feeling proud to wear the uniform.
Today, the Canadian Armed Forces gathered survivors for a long-awaited apology for the treatment racialized members have faced.
I apologize to every CAF member, veteran who experienced racism, discrimination, and harassment. And I acknowledge we failed you.
An acknowledgement the Chief of Defense Staff says marks both a milestone and a difficult day for the military.
We failed to live up to the values we project and promote around the world every day.
But while some veterans feel the apology is too superficial, others say it validates their experiences.
I've experienced my own racism while wearing the uniform, and to see what happened today, it really warmed my heart to see that we're on the right path towards healing and reconciliation.
The military says it is committed to real and lasting change, and that this apology is just one step along that path.
Legislation that gave the municipal board more power over local land use decisions is creating confusion and slowing down development. That's the conclusion of an independent review of the Planning Amendment and City of Winnipeg Charter Amendment Act, otherwise known as Bill 37, which was introduced by the previous PC government in 2021. It was intended to make planning and approvals easier and more transparent. and create new ways to appeal local decisions. However, municipalities say they're being sidelined, and the review found the municipal board was largely unable to hear appeals on time. The province is accepting all 19 of the report's recommendations. We are nearing the end of the Winnipeg High School football season as varsity semifinals begin. The Springfield Sabres and West Kildonan Wolverines hit the gridiron at Princess Auto Stadium Thursday evening. The Wolverines won this one 26-6. Also in semifinal action, Ontario teams from Dryden and Fort Frances clashed, with Dryden winning 31-24, and St. Norbert Celtics beat Churchill Bulldogs 17-14. A game scheduled for Thursday afternoon between Tech Fawk and Elmwood was postponed. Varsity semifinals continue today. Here's what's happening now along Portage at Polo Park. Looks like a smooth drive so far starting off this morning. If you see any issues this Halloween morning, please let us know. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is lower at $1.27. In Winnipeg, the average is the same. And the lowest price in the city is $1.16. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, the Halloween haunt reveal. Ainsley McPhail is coming up after this break. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Well, it's cool and damp and a little bit breezy out here this morning, and these are all things you're going to want to keep in mind as you're planning how to dress when you're headed out trick-or-treating today, or even just for the day itself. 2 degrees is where we're sitting right now with some heavier clouds hanging over us. Those clouds will continue to build up and the winds will continue to increase. And I mentioned I'm already noticing that bit of a breeze, 24 clicks out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 93%. So there were some showers that rolled through yesterday, last night. That dampness is in the air, the humidity is high, and there's still the possibility that we see some more scattered precipitation throughout the day today, depending where you are, depending on the form. So here across southern Manitoba, if we do see it, and again, it's a slim chance for all across the province, but if we do see some scattered precipitation here in the south, it will likely remain in liquid form as showers. Northern Manitoba, you could see a few flakes of snow, but again, very scattered, patchy activity expected today, but the possibility is certainly there. Temperatures just barely above seasonal today, with 4 degrees being a normal daytime high. We'll maybe get to about 5 today. That's likely to be it, and then dropping off once the sun sets, and that's going to be happening just after 6 now. So it will be a little bit cool for trick-or-treating tonight. Throw an extra layer on under your costume today. Make sure it's a windproof one. I am so honored to introduce is Kenny Rogers. Ainsley is taking the day off. Let's check in and see.
Good morning, Terry. I thought you were going to say Kenny, which is kind of funny because we have our cameraman Kenny, and if I was going to dress up like him, I might just wear cargo shorts or something. But this had me waking up at 2 in the morning to present this with you today. But it's not about me, Kenny. It's about the great folks of Manitoba who every year put together Halloween houses. We are with our winner. And there were so many submissions. I'm so proud to be joined by Jacqueline. Tell us a little bit about your haunt.
This is the Nightmare in Elmwood, because Elmwood is normally a nightmare, but we like to bring it to life with some fun and some candy and some community. This is the one night where you don't have to be afraid to walk in Elmwood because we are giving out candy.
Okay, theme. I see a lot of Beetlejuice, but I see lots of other pieces of pop culture too.
Yeah, we're leaning really heavily into the 90s. We're here for the parents more than the children. We want the children introduced to the good media that used to be. And we're really like leaning into it's not too spooky for the kids, but as it gets later at night, it gets spookier and spookier for the teenagers. We get actors that come out.
Actors? Like
actors.
Oh my goodness. Volunteer actors?
You know, friends, family, lots of sisters. Yeah.
I love that. This really then is for the parents.
Oh, it is 100% for the parents. And if you're a dressed up parent, you get a full-size candy bar.
Are you serious? You were the house. You were the house to be at then. Okay, when it comes to what you've put together, something that I love about it is handmade stuff.
Oh, all handmade stuff. It all started when we bought one of those 12-foot Home Depot skeletons, the viral ones, and it got stolen the next day out of our garage. So what did? We did not give up. We started to make things that could not be picked up and stolen. If I painted it on a 80-pound piece of plywood, nobody's taking it.
Okay. Anything else you want people to know about your victory?
Oh, I'm just so proud. We've put so much work into this. My partner has tolerated me through all of it because I know I am insane. I do it for us and I do it for the community, and I just want everyone to have that nostalgic, happy Halloween.
Awesome. I feel like I'm a walking piece of nostalgia right now for our local Manitobans over the age of, you know what, we're not going to talk about it. More after this. A live performance. Stay with us.
Looking at the early markets, the Dow Jones has dropped lower overnight. The Nasdaq is up over 300 points. The S&P index is also trending higher. The loonie slipping to around 71.40 cents U.S. The Hang Seng dropping 376 points, and the Nikkei index jumping more than 1,000 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Some good news and bad news on how many doctors are working in this province. A new report from Doctors Manitoba says we saw a record-breaking net gain last year. But keeping those physicians is a different story. CTV's Jeff Keel explains the doctor drain.
Premier Wab Kinew promised to hire more healthcare professionals to fix healthcare in this province. It appears that is happening.
It's been an exciting 2 years. We've had 2 record years of increase in physician numbers here in Manitoba.
A new report from Doctors Manitoba says the province saw a net increase of 164 physicians last year. So we now have 225 doctors per 100,000 people, a 2.5% bump, moving Manitoba closer to the national average.
Which means we're getting closer to finding a family doctor for every Manitoban and shortening wait times for specialist services like diagnostics.
Doing the work to make healthcare in Manitoba a much more attractive place for physicians to work.
But not all is well. There is a doctor shortage across the country, and retention is a major issue here. The report found 43% of doctors are considering reducing hours, retiring, or leaving Manitoba in the next 3 years. 40% of students and residents are planning on leaving or are undecided. 56% of doctors are experiencing distress and 48% burnout. Doctors Manitoba say patient wait lists and burdensome paperwork, like sick notes, are taking a toll on doctors.
We're being asked to do more, but we're not actually being given more support or more resources to provide those patient services.
The health minister says they will keep taking the pulse of doctors.
We're committed to continuing to listen to doctors, take steps like further reducing their administrative burden, innovating healthcare, and making our healthcare system more modernized so that they're excited to practice in Manitoba.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The report says as of April 30th, Manitoba now has 3,498 doctors. The Manitoba government's senior advisor on homelessness is leaving her position after less than a year on the job. The government says Tessa Blakey-Whitecloud will be moving on to a role outside of government. Blakey-Whitecloud was hired in January at a salary of $177,000 to lead the government's effort to end chronic homelessness within 7 years. Part of the effort involved promises to clear encampments and ensure more housing is made available. Bernadette Smith, the Minister for Housing, Addictions and Homelessness, says Blakey-Whitecloud has helped get 100 homes for people who had been living in encampments, and the work will continue. Now to a different kind of school shopping list. More than 100 years worth of history is going under the hammer as a private Mennonite school in southern Manitoba closes its doors.
There's so many things in a school that has to go somewhere, and what better place than back in the hands of those who made the memories here.
When officials decided to close Mennonite Collegiate Institute in Gretna due to low enrollment, they realized they had a lot of stuff on their hands. And by a lot, they mean more than 1,200 items dating back decades, which are now up for grabs via an online auction. That includes grad photos, trophies, sports banners, uniforms, yearbooks, and much more.
Because the community is so large with a history going back so many decades, we didn't want to just reach out to a few local people that we knew personally and offer it to them. We wanted it to, everyone to have a fair chance at it. And so the goal wasn't to raise piles of money. Whether an item goes for $4 or $400 is irrelevant. We just wanted to go back to someone who has a memory and a care for that item.
CEO Chris Harms says they also have a trove of historical artifacts, most of which will be going to the Mennonite Heritage Archives in Winnipeg. Bidding goes until Tuesday. We have more details on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The lane will be closed starting today on Carlton Street from Graham to St. Mary Avenue. The westbound curb and middle lanes are set to close on Notre Dame between Kate and Furby. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
2 degrees outside right now. We're going to see the clouds stacking up through the day. Right now, we're just looking at darkness. The sun doesn't rise until 8:16. There's a bit of a breeze this morning. It's out of the north-northeast, 24 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 93%. The clouds will build up. There is the possibility of some precipitation. We're seeing a little bit of activity right now along that most southern border, but across the province, that possibility is there. It's a slim chance. It's a slim chance for everybody, but you might see a flake of snow, maybe a few drops of rain. It could be more in that mixed form in parts of northern Manitoba, where your temperatures today are expected to be at the freezing mark or just barely above. Although for this time of year, this isn't a shock where it shouldn't be. I mean, it might seem cool because we've been lucking in with these above seasonal temperatures, but this is still probably a little bit above what you would expect for this time of year. Heavier clouds. Little Lake might see a peak of sunshine today. Here in the south, we're likely to deal with some heavier clouds and that chance of some scattered precipitation. 4 degrees, that would be a normal daytime high. So we're pretty much seeing the values in around what you would expect this time of year. We might do a degree better than that. 5 seems to be the average. Some places might get up to 6 degrees today. But we're also going to notice not just that possibility of precipitation along with some heavier clouds, but the winds that'll be increasing, and that wind will have a bit of a bite. It's going to be out of the northwest and at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. So that will certainly be a bit of a factor that we're having to dress around today. And then, yes, those heavier clouds lingering off to the east as well, maybe even a little bit of that precipitation. It will be warming up. It still looks good as we're wrapping up the weekend, with the sunshine returning for the weekend itself and double digits through Sunday, even into Monday, before we start to see those temperatures settling back to seasonal by the middle of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on Bo at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, Bo. Happy Friday.
And happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween to you as well. Love the t-shirt.
Yeah, I bring it out once a year. It's perfect. You know, I've had it for a while. It's the extent of my Halloween costume. I'm pretty lame that way, but I like Terry and Ainsley. They're looking good today.
Yes,
so
indeed.
I was at the Jets game last night. It was Halloween night. There were some great costumes. How about you, Rochelle? Are you guys ready for Halloween? Are you doing a costume tonight?
Well, you know what? I went to a Halloween party on Saturday. I'm just going to wear the same costume that I wore then, and it was a pirate. My husband and I were pirates together, so it was fun, and I'm going to just wear it again. Why not? And we're going to hand out candy tonight, Bo. We're just going to stay home and watch the Jays because the kids are old enough. They can do their own thing. They're going to go and have fun together and then come back home when they're done or get cold. But we're going to stay in for the first time, which is kind of fun.
That's great. Did you talk like a pirate as well?
Ooh, a little bit. I'm not very good at it, but we try. We're actually going to have a live pirate in our studio today, which is going to be fun. A little later in the 8 o'clock hour. You'll have to check it out.
I will be watching. So, yeah, watching the Blue Jays tonight. So, kids, get your trick-or-treating in early because after 7 o'clock, it's going to be the Jays. And this is always the worst night of the year for my poor dog, Rolo, because every time somebody's at the door, he's all excited and running to the door and doing this and doing that. But it should be fun tonight, so kids be safe, have some fun. I do have some treats, and I always make sure I buy whatever I like. So if there's leftovers, I'm good to go.
Oh, yeah.
Can I leave you with a Halloween joke?
Sure. Please.
Here we go. So, Rochelle, what does a vampire never order at a restaurant?
I don't know. What?
A steak.
Good one. I like it. I wasn't even expecting that one. Thank you, Bo. Happy Halloween and go Jays.
You got it.
The annual Poppy campaign is getting underway across Canada. On Thursday, a special ceremony helped mark the occasion at an Ontario Veterans Centre. CTV's Janice Golding has more.
A special ceremony at the Sunnybrook Veterans Centre for the launch of the annual Poppy campaign.
Makes me think of my old shipmates. They're long gone, but not forgotten.
A day to reflect, remember, and learn.
I think it's really good that we're continuing to remember what's happened from the past.
It really just teaches you to see the world in a different way.
The Honourable Edith Dumont, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, received the first poppy.
They protected our values, so I think we have a space today to appreciate the work of the veterans and how we can nurture their stories so the next generation will understand that we are fortunate to be Canadians.
And retired Major General Richard Romer received the second.
I did 135 missions in my feather. Well, we do have get shot at all the time.
Major General Romer, who is now 101 years old, has received many awards for his valor and bravery in battle during World War II, including the Distinguished Flying Cross.
It's important to keep all of these memories going, all these actions and all the sacrifices made so long ago.
The Royal Canadian Legion's campaign, which runs from the last Friday in October until November the 11th, sees millions of Canadians purchasing poppies, which serve as a symbol of remembrance, a visual pledge to honor those who have served and sacrificed. The poppies themselves are free, but donations are welcomed. The funds used to support veterans and their families.
A lot of the funds that are raised save lives. We have so many programs for veterans, including service dogs. We have a huge homeless veterans program here in Ontario.
A campaign Canadians can stand behind for the men and women who stood up for our ideals and values. Janice Golding, CTV News.
Coming up, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg. Stay with us. It's Friday, October 31st. Today, Portage roadwork drags. Frustration grows as construction delays mean drivers could face detours well into spring. Plus, royal titles gone. King Charles strips Prince Andrew of his titles and home amid the Epstein fallout. And one win away. The Blue Jays are just one victory from making history. Can they bring it home tonight? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Halloween to you. We are having a Halloween howl throughout the show today.
I love it.
Terry's dressed. We're all dressed in costumes, which is really fun. And wait till you see Ainsley's costume. It's wild.
Honestly, the effort and the work that she has put into this.
Crazy.
I could hear voices this morning. There was a party going on in the makeup room, and I went to take a peek, and my jaw hit the floor.
I know.
Stay tuned to see.
It's incredible indeed. And we have a lot of Halloween-themed items happening in our show, including Halloween candy, of course.
Yes.
Lots of sugar. Some candy are worse than others. So we're going to get a dentist telling us which candies are really bad for your teeth and what to do after you eat your treats, because they're not saying don't eat them. Enjoy them.
Do you remember
Halloween.
Do you remember bats?
Yes.
Yes. I broke my retainer on a bat.
Oh, yes.
So if that's in your Halloween bag, I don't even think they make them anymore.
I don't think I've
probably
seen them.
So many retainers got broken. Anyway, let's take a look at the weather. Yeah, you're going to want those extra layers on under your costume because it is going to be cool and breezy today. Those winds at the moment, they're out of the north-northeast. They're 24 kilometers per hour, but they will likely get stronger throughout the day today. 2 degrees, that's where we're sitting this morning. So that's technically well above seasonal because a normal low would have us well below the freezing mark at around -5. So we're doing okay with these temps this morning. It's just that they won't be rising much. Pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 93%. Now, I mean, technically, they don't need to rise much to hit what a normal daytime high is, because this time of year 4 degrees would be a normal daytime high, and we will probably surpass that today. But I'm still saying throw those extra layers on. You'll be glad that you did. On the satellite image, you can see the clouds across the entire province with a little bit of precipitation showing up here across the very southern stretch. There is that chance of some scattered showers today or some scattered flurries depending where you are. Now, what's showing up along this very southern border, that will be clearing out. Mainly cloudy conditions, but you can see just all the little dots of green or white depending where you are. So it's a slim chance, but that possibility is there of getting hit with just a little bit of off and on precipitation. It will start to clear out a little more so for the weekend, a little bit brighter as the sunshine comes back, and eventually a little bit warmer, although it'll still be cool on Saturday, closer to those seasonal values. Overnight Saturday and into Sunday, we might get passed over with some precipitation, but mostly it's going to move up into central Manitoba and hang around throughout the day. Here's a look at your trick-or-treat forecast, and as we continue on through the day today, 4 degrees. That's what you can expect as the kids are headed out trick-or-treating. It's the warm-up this weekend that we can all look forward to, double digits on tap. And our art today, we've got 3 to show you off. A family has sent it in. 9-year-old Brantley, 4-year-old Aspen, and Gracie May, 11 years old. Thank you for sharing your pics with us. Send them to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Some devastating news involving a Winnipeg high school student who sustained a spinal injury during a football game earlier this month. Winnipeg School Division says Darius Hartshorn, a grade 12 student at Sisler High School, died Wednesday night. In a statement, the division offered its condolences, saying support services will be made available at the school. This news comes nearly 2 weeks after the teen sustained a neck injury during a football game between Sisler and Tech Fog High Schools. A family member told CTV News the injury happened on the first play of the game, calling it a bad collision and a fluke play. A moment of silence was held for the teen in the Manitoba Legislature Thursday. Afterwards, PC leader and former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Abhi Khan shared an emotional tribute to Darius.
Darius turned 17 on Saturday. Sad to see a life taken so soon. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, your family, your loved ones, classmates, and everyone at Sisler. May you rest in peace, Darius. Doing something you love, playing a sport. It's one of the hardest things you can go through, and as a parent, my heart breaks for you.
I know that so many Manitobans have reached out to express just how sad this situation is. So as we offer our collective condolences to Darius and Darius's family, we want to ensure that perhaps there is some comfort for you during this difficult time, knowing that the entire province is behind you.
An online fundraiser was set up when the teen was injured to help with those costs. As of Thursday night, it has raised $53,000. There's frustration on the road for many drivers in Winnipeg as the city works on wrapping up another season of construction. But one sore spot is really grinding people's gears. This section of portage between Cavalier and Sturgeon has been under construction since the middle of summer, and there's word it may not be completed until spring. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows us its impact.
Customers of ACR Auto Glass are adding a lot of extra time to get there lately.
Sometimes, traffic's backed up to the Grace Hospital and beyond. Customers complaining of 45-minute to 60-minute wait times to get down Portage Avenue.
Chris Shea, general manager of the shop, says road construction on Portage Avenue between Sturgeon Road and Cavalier Drive has been a hassle since midsummer. It's a lengthy stretch of construction, and drivers are waiting in both directions.
The traffic is wild. Customers complaining constantly of wait times, or the worst is, end of the day traffic, that 2:30 to 5 o'clock time when customers are coming back to pick up vehicles.
And his business is not the only one impacted. Shea's neighbor Dean Davis runs Earl's Automotive. He says it's been an excruciating wait for parts he has to order to service vehicles. His suppliers can't get through the lines of cars.
The delay on getting the parts have gone from 15 minutes to sometimes an hour and a half. And they're just down the street.
City of Winnipeg Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says this is one of the longest road projects ever, 15.66 lane kilometers. This number is a total of 4 lanes in each direction and will cost $5.3 million. Luke says losing 12 to 14 days of rain has been a factor, but boots should have been on the ground earlier.
People are frustrated, and I feel their pain. I think personally, the city and the consulting firm should have got that project out the door sooner.
More October rain is delaying the project to next spring, according to Luke's. Davis says working on both sides of such a major artery was a mistake.
I don't think it was the right decision. It just caused way too much traffic and disruption with every business along Portage here. It's just been stupid, period.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We reached out to the city to learn more about the timelines to complete the project and to find out what has caused the delays. They acknowledged our request and said they are working on getting us a response. We have not yet heard back. There is an urgent need for food, fuel, and supplies in countries hit by Hurricane Melissa. In Jamaica, people are trying to get anything they can at the grocery store as long lines stretch outside of gas stations. Electricity remains out for most of the island after Hurricane Melissa made landfall as a Category 5. Officials in Jamaica have confirmed 19 people died in the country from the storm. 30 people are now confirmed to have died in Haiti. Governments and aid groups are organizing support for storm-affected countries. The Jays have their first chance today to clinch the World Series, and for the whole country, game time can't come fast enough.
I'm really excited to hopefully see them take a big championship home.
Dingers is what I'm thinking about. I think we're gonna win, frankly, and I never thought we'd be here, so I'm just pumped.
Anticipation is high as the Jays could win their first championship in 32 years. Bars and restaurants will be packed. Watch parties are happening across the country, including the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. Manager John Schneider says the players have been paying attention to the watch parties, and they can't wait to feel the atmosphere at the ballpark today. Game 6 starts at 7 p.m. Central Time. Here's what's happening now along the St. James Bridge. Things are moving well here. No issues to tell you about in this drive. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Very pleased with the outcome is how Prime Minister Mark Carney describes his meeting with China's Xi Jinping at the APEC summit in South Korea. He hailed it as a turning point in our nation's ties with China, and it marked the first formal sit-down in 8 years between leaders of the two nations. And Xi said that China is willing to work with Canada to push China-Canada ties to return to the correct track of being healthy, stable, and sustainable as soon as possible. Carney also saying his government will soon announce more than 20 investments in critical minerals projects with a total value of about 2 billion Canadian. The announcements will come today at the Group of 7 Energy Ministers meeting in Toronto. Carney said that during a speech at the APEC summit, and that was the CEO summit in South Korea on Friday. No other details were provided. The S&P 500 is set for a 6th month of gains after Amazon and had some blowout results fueled a rebound in stocks following a brief pause in the global rally. Futures on the U.S. benchmark rose as Amazon jumped 13% in pre-market trading, a move set to add about $300 billion to its market value after reporting the fastest cloud unit growth in nearly 3 years. Apple also advanced on a revenue beat and upbeat holiday forecast. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
We're having some fun. It's a Halloween hell this morning. Ainsley, you've been in the makeup room since 2 o'clock getting ready for this, and you look great. You are Kenny Rogers today.
I'm scaring people.
Why?
I'm terrifying people, Rochelle. Well, I quickly went home to get my boyfriend's guitar, and he was not expecting it to look this realistic. So realistic. It takes hours. So if you're walking around Elmwood this morning and you happen to see Kenny Rogers and, I don't know, Dolly Parton walking around doing a live performance, you might, It's Kenny as Dolly and Ainsley as Kenny. Wasn't expecting, baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown. I set out to get you with the fine-tooth comb. I was soft inside. There was something going on.
What do you do something to me that I can't explain? Hold me closer and I feel no pain. Every beat of my heart.
Oh my goodness. Halloween karaoke.
I love it. I love it.
No words.
All right, let's take a look at the conditions today so you know what you've got to dress for as you're headed out trick-or-treating tonight. Dress for the winds and dress for the possibility of precipitation. It's a slim chance, but the chance is there. 2 degrees is where we're sitting right now. North-northeast winds 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 92%. The clouds will continue to build. There is that chance of precipitation likely to remain in liquid form here through the south, so scattered showers are a possibility, but scattered flurries are a possibility across central or northern Manitoba, where your temperatures might be a little bit cooler yet. Now, it is going to remain a little bit cool feeling, even though these temperatures are going to be slightly above seasonal, with 4 degrees being a normal high. We'll head up to about 5 today, but that wind will be increasing, and times up to 40K winds out of the northwest for later on this afternoon. So windproof layer, waterproof layer, everything gets better after today. We'll start to see a little more sunshine tomorrow. It's not really going to warm up until Sunday, but as we're wrapping up the weekend, double digits are expected.
Thank you, Terry. Time now for our question of the day. We want to know, what are your plans for Halloween tonight? You can text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg. Good morning. A plan to expand Route 90 has officially been given the green light from City Hall. The anticipated price tag is more than $750 million, funded solely by debt. Council voted 11-2 in favor of the Kenniston widening and St. James Bridge refurbishment project. According to a report before City Hall, $5 million will be earmarked to pay for property acquisitions in the area. Mayor Scott Gillingham is defending the pricey project, saying it's about unlocking the potential for a regional trade route.
And so there's a lot more residential traffic on that north-south route. But also, we know that the Naui-Odina Canada Lands Treaty 1 project will see up to 3,100 residential units built right there right near the corner of Grant and Kenniston. We also know that up to 1 million square feet of commercial space will be added. And so to accommodate the growth that's going to come right in that area, we need to widen the street.
St. Boniface Councillor Matt Allard and newly sworn in Elmwood East Kildonan Councillor Emma Durand-Wood voted against it. Construction is set to begin no later than 2027. Sleeping in total darkness may lower the risk of cardiovascular disease, the leading cause of death worldwide. The study was published in the journal JAMA Network Open. It found people who slept in the brightest conditions, akin to having overhead bedroom lights on, had a 56% greater risk of developing heart failure. They also had a 32% higher risk of coronary artery disease and 28% higher risk of stroke. The authors say the study only shows a link and doesn't prove light exposure causes cardiovascular disease, but adds it's a good reminder to limit screen time and dim the lights in your home before bed. Lots going on this weekend. Halloween today, a possible Jays Game 7 on Saturday. Perfect timing for a clock change. A friendly reminder, daylight saving time ends on Sunday. This means clocks go back an hour at 2 a.m. for most of the country. It's an extra hour of sleep, which could work out for a lot of people. And going forward, the sun comes up earlier, but sets earlier as well. Here's a look at what's going on now on Osborne Street. Looks like things are still pretty smooth over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Time now for some entertainment news. A film production coming to our city is looking for some background actors, but there's a catch. You have to know how to curl. The production is called Sticks and Stones. It follows the American curler John Schuster. You won't just be sitting around at the rink. You will be what they call a special skills extra. They want active curlers of all ages who ideally are on a team or in a league with their own gear. The casting directors are also looking for athletic-looking people along with folks of Korean and Slavic backgrounds. And if you're rocking a mullet or perm, there are also some rules for people sporting 90s looks. More details can be found at nextcasting.ca. With movie adaptations having a strong showing at the box office, another major media franchise is making the jump to the big screen. Warner Brothers says a Hello Kitty movie is on the way in 2028. The cartoon feline was introduced by Japanese company Sanrio more than 50 years ago. Since then, the character has become a common sight on toys, clothing, and accessories, and thousands of other products. There's been no word on the plot, but Variety reports the Hello Kitty movie will be directed by Zootopia animator Leo Matsuda with a script from Wicked writer Dana Fox. This weekend, you'll have an opportunity to go back to the future. The classic Michael J. Fox movie is being re-released in Winnipeg theaters.
I'm from the future. I came here in a time machine that you invented.
Right, Scott!
Maybe hard to believe, but this is the 40th anniversary for Back to the Future. After its release on July 3rd, 1985, it was the #1 movie in theaters for 11 of its first 12 weeks. Back to the Future is now regarded as a classic, and it spawned 2 sequels, a cartoon which ran for 2 seasons, and a number of video games. Kickstart the weekend with some great entertainment, starting at 7 with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Special Forces World's Toughest Test is on at 8, and Boston Blue is next at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. What are you doing tonight, Terry? You handing out candy or just staying inside?
I'm actually catching a flight after this, so you can find me in the airport walking through as Waldo.
Nice.
Yeah, so no, I won't be, but I will be checking out the Jays game, probably from an airport lounge somewhere. I think a lot of people will be doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if people stop answering the door after a while, because there's nothing worse than disruptions when you're just trying to, like...
You don't want to miss them too, right? You want to sort of pay attention to the kids when they come to your door, not just be like, okay, bye, kids.
Right? So let this be a lesson to the kids out there. Get out early.
Yes.
Do it quick. Fast steps. Okay, taking a look outside, you can see, ooh, it's starting to look a little bit brighter, that we can at least see what's happening out here as we glance through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. There will be some stronger winds increasing through the day today. Also possibly some scattered precipitation. So just keep in mind that you could be seeing maybe some showers or maybe some flurries depending where you are, because the temperatures as we move up through parts of northern Manitoba will be dropping off a little bit. So anybody through the more central or northern stretch, a flake or 2 of snow is quite possible. Temperature wise, we're still above seasonal. I mean, certainly for low temperatures anyway. -5 would be a normal low, and we're all in the low to mid-single digits as we look through the south. But for northern Manitoba, it is a little bit cooler once we're getting up into that northwestern corner. -2 in Thompson and in Lynn Lake this morning. And again, the possibility of some precipitation across northern Manitoba might be showing up in flurry form. But it's going to be scattered and patchy no matter where it is. It looks a little bit more active here in the south, but this is all going to be clearing out, pushing south of the border, and then just mainly cloudy conditions expected today, with, again, that possibility of precipitation. But the winds will be increasing and the temperatures won't be climbing by much. 3 degrees as kids get settled into the classroom, 5 expected through the rest of the day, through the lunch hour and as they're coming home, and then as they're headed out trick-or-treating, probably dropping off to about 4. If they stay out too long, down to about 3 degrees. Throw that extra layer on for sure. A windproof and waterproof. That chance of showers is there. The big warm-up comes as we're wrapping up the weekend and looking ahead to next week. Some double digits coming our way through the latter part of the weekend. I love this. Not sure where it is, but if it's on your route, lucky you. Don't be spooked. Keep the pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Canadians struggling with debt will be watching next week's federal budget closely. CTV's Heather right now with what they're looking for.
In her spare time, Annetta Wozniak bakes. Cream puffs, tiramisu, beautiful cakes. It's a passion of hers, but also a way to try and make some extra money.
It's a huge challenge to live in downtown Toronto.
Wozniak is one of the millions of Canadians living paycheck to paycheck. She's a single mom and has a job, but is struggling. She uses the food bank where she also volunteers, but fears she may soon be evicted as she struggles to pay rent.
I don't pay fully rent because I don't make enough. My one income, it's not enough for me and my daughter. But I'm doing my best.
With the Carney government set to unveil its first budget next week, people like Wozniak will be watching for anything that might make their lives more affordable. The Liberals have already announced plans to make the National School Food Program, which provides meals to 400,000 children, permanent. Ottawa will also start automatic benefits for the 2026 tax year that will ensure 5.5 million low-income Canadians receive eligible tax breaks, including the GST HST credit, the Canada Child Benefit, and the Canada Disability Benefit. There could also be tax breaks to help those working in skilled trades and personal support workers. But financial experts caution it's unlikely the federal budget will include anything that will make an immediate impact on affordability.
I can't imagine anything in the budget that is going to be even targeted specifically for you that's going to be material enough to take you from being in a situation of financial despair to one of financial success overnight. That's just an unrealistic expectation.
While the government is expected to increase spending in certain areas, the Prime Minister has also warned of sacrifices that will have to be made during this time of economic uncertainty. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
It's time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with Cher. This sweet 4-year-old feline loves head scratches and chasing a wand toy. Cher is independent and will let you know when she's had enough attention. Next up is Shayla, a sweet 1-year-old cat. Shayla is affectionate and loves to cuddle and play. Shayla had a full mouth extraction but loves to eat her wet food. And meet Willow, an energetic and cheerful 4-year-old pooch. Willow excels at fetch and tug of war. Willow prefers to keep her food and toys to herself, but can work towards sharing with training and guidance. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number is there on your screen. All right, coming up, we're going to reveal the Halloween haunt that won our contest this year. Stay with us for more. We are having a Halloween howl this morning. We're going to join Ainsley McPhail now, who's going to showcase the winning Halloween haunt that was part of our contest. Good morning, Ainsley. You're Kenny Rogers today, looking good.
I was going to say, I don't know who you're introducing. Who you think you're introducing right now? I'm Kenny.
Yes.
Rochelle.
Good
and
morning,
I'm joined
Kenny
by Jacqueline.
Rogers.
With our winners to the Halloween Haunt contest. Congratulations. I did a walkthrough and I was a little spooked, but it's still, I'm easy. It's perfect for the kids. Don't you worry. Tell us a little bit about the dog trick-or-treating you guys are doing, Jacqueline.
Yeah, so first and foremost, other than Halloween people, we are actually dog people. That is what consumes 95% of our year. So something we love to offer is dog trick-or-treating. So if you bring your dog, costume or not, bring them, have a little haunt, enjoy the lights, we will give them a little treat. But what I wanted to offer is maybe some safety tips for when you're trick-or-treating with your dog, because we see some mistakes here and there. Something you really want to be mindful of is that at night your dog needs to be visible because people are walking up and down the street, people are driving to trick-or-treat in cars. Make sure that your dog has a reflective collar or a light-up collar like my dog does here. And also a sturdy leash, not a flexi lead where your dog is walking 30 feet across the street on its own, you know, getting caught on my fences and taking out trick-or-treaters. A nice sturdy leash so that you can lead your dog where they need to go, and that if anything happens, like your dog gets scared, you have good control of them.
That is perfect. These are such great tips because everybody thinks of the safety of ourselves, which is obviously so important, but we want to make sure our animals are safe as well. When it comes to the haunt, I would take a dog through this. Tell us about what people can expect.
If you are bringing your dog trick-or-treating, you wouldn't be mindful of what is going to scare them, what's going to not. So dogs actually really love lights because they can see those, and that's really visually interesting to them. So when we have dogs on our property, we're not going to jump scare them. We're not going to do the spooky, kooky stuff, but they can come and they can enjoy it. They like to see the little skeleton sitting on the bench. Some dogs think those are real people. That's really fun. So do some little kids. But no, if you're a kid coming through, then we will scare you, just so you know.
We're almost at a time. Anything else you want people to know?
I just want everyone to have an incredible Halloween. It's going to be beautiful weather and it's going to be a great Friday.
Thank you so much. Okay, we've got another Halloween haunt conversation coming up at 8:06. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, there she said it. It's going to be beautiful weather. And honestly, while I've been saying it might be like a little bit breezy, compared to some years, we're lucking in. 2 degrees right now, north-northeast winds 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 92%. Keeping in mind that Halloween always falls the end of October, and this time of year, the temperatures that we're actually expecting to see today will still be slightly above seasonal. It will be on the cloudier side across the province, maybe some scattered precipitation, but it will perhaps be very touch and go with the precipitation. Many places won't see it at all. If you do, it's not going to be throughout the day, and it will just be a few drops of rain or perhaps a few flakes of snow. There's a few places through parts of northern Manitoba that could be seeing a bit of that rain-snow mix today. Temperature is climbing just barely above the freezing mark through northern Manitoba, but still, everybody is likely to end up on the plus side of freezing, even if parts of northern Manitoba are starting out just below the freezing mark this morning. Here across southern Manitoba, -5 would be a normal low, and we're starting out at 2 degrees. So we won't be making massive gains today, but 3-5 degrees with the heavier clouds. Sure, that chance of some passing precipitation. A few places could see that just kind of briefly passing through. and then those winds increasing. And the winds might be kind of the worst of it today. At times they could be gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour. So make sure that underneath your costume you're able to fit a waterproof and a windproof layer. Here's a look at what we can expect throughout the rest of the weekend and into next week. 5 degrees today when 4 is seasonal, but it starts to warm up only by a degree for tomorrow. But by Sunday, with the sunshine increasing over the weekend, we should be hitting those double digits. They'll continue into the start of next week, eventually seeing those temperatures dropping off by the middle of the week is back to seasonal.
Thank you, Terry. Taking a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.27. In Winnipeg, the average is also $1.27, and the lowest price in the city is $1.16. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Polar bears depend on their ecosystem to eat enough to sustain the energy they require to breed their young and survive in the Arctic. But new research out of the University of Manitoba shows that other creatures in that same ecosystem largely depend on polar bears to survive, because whatever the bears eat and leave behind gets scavenged by many other animals. That's concerning because we know the warming climate is endangering polar bears, and this new research shows it could also affect the populations of many other species. Joining us now from the University of Manitoba is a carnivore biologist, Holly Gamlin. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Now, this study, it took years to do this, and then writing the report, it took a few years as well. You wanted to do the study because there was nothing outlining exactly what happens to the other creatures that live with polar bears.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about why you wanted to do the study and why it's so significant.
Yeah, so I've been working with some polar bear researchers who have had this idea in the works for a while now. They were just looking for an eager student to take it on.
Okay.
And so it's really a collaboration effort where we're trying to provide a story that maybe has been told about polar bears as an apex predator. And so when you think about predators and their role in systems, there's all kinds of positive benefits they have in ecosystems. And this is one that's nobody's really talking about with polar bears. So we just wanted to bring it to the surface and combine what we already know already and put the story together.
So polar bears, they hunt what? And then what do they do once they get their kill?
They hunt all kinds of different marine mammals depending on where they are in the Arctic, but overall their primary prey is ring seals across the Arctic.
Okay, and then what do they do with it once they catch it?
So a polar bear that's in really good body condition, when it makes a kill, it's what we call a blubber specialist. So they're really mostly interested and physiologically adapted to eating that blubber. And so they strip the blubber and then leave a lot of meat left on just on the ice for other critters.
That might be surprising to some people.
Yeah, and we actually wanted to know, okay, well, we know they're leaving meat, but how much is it actually that they're leaving? So we tried to estimate this value, and we estimated that polar bears are contributing over 7 million kilograms of meat across their range. And my lab mate looked this up. You can find little sources of like, how much does this weigh? It's 2 giraffes. And it actually, that weight, it turns into about 10,000 sedans, or the weight of the Eiffel Tower. So we're talking about like a lot of food that's just left there on the landscape for animals to eat.
And then those animals, which animals are we talking about that sort of come out of from everywhere to scavenge?
Yeah, so that's another piece of the puzzle we were trying to fit together. Like, who do we know scavenges? And a lot of people have seen that photo on social media of Arctic foxes following the polar bears. So there's a few species that we just know scavenge. And so we were trying to provide an overview of what's out there. So Arctic foxes, gulls, those are commonly identified scavengers, other bird species. But we were really surprised when we started diving into it that there's not a whole lot of information out there, even on the common scavengers, and even less is known throughout the range of species that might scavenge, but we just don't have records on it. And this is because nobody's really gone out to the ice and investigated this.
And they eat whatever they need, and then they take off, and then the next guy comes along and eats.
Pretty much. So they're providing this benefit to other species, but they're also really important for within species. So younger polar bears that might not be as effective hunters, or moms that are just coming out of the den with their cubs that are really hungry, they'll totally scavenge off of these kills also.
And so this is really significant, this piece of study, because this tells us just how important they are and their survival, why it's vital.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. So we tried to paint that picture that if we lose polar bears, this is a resource that we're going to lose, not just for bears, but for all these other species that benefit from it.
And so if that happens, God forbid, if the sea ice continues to retreat and polar bears are in trouble and start disappearing, other species might also start disappearing.
Yeah, and my colleague, actually, he's been working on this. Sean Johnson-Bice just released a paper that talked about how this even trickles down even further into the food web. So when we think about Arctic foxes and they scavenge a lot, his work was really showing, well, what happens on the tundra when they go out on the ice and they come back? What happens to those prey species? And so he's demonstrated how that can actually impact the different prey species that Arctic foxes are consuming.
So this is scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can we do in our everyday lives to try to help or mitigate this issue?
Yeah, that is really probably the biggest conservation concern for polar bears in the Arctic and really all species across the world. And it comes down to making changes on a global level that address climate change, and particularly human-induced climate change. Folks might not be aware, but the Arctic is warming at a rate that's 4 times the rate of the rest of the world. So this is an ecosystem that is being really impacted by climate change. So it's really going to take, I guess on an individual level, thinking about how you know, when we're voting and we're thinking about who's coming in and making these changes, who's going to prioritize environmental impacts and climate change.
Holly, thank you for sharing details on this. We really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.
Coming up, we're going to take a break, but first, here's what's happening outside. It's 2 degrees, mainly cloudy, but look at that gorgeous sunrise. It's coming. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
All right, the sun, well, I was going to say the sun is rising. It's not. It will eventually. 8:16 is official sunrise this morning, but we're seeing that gorgeous glow. You can also see the extra clouds hanging around, and we'll see more of those stacking up through the day today. Temperature-wise, though, not a bad start. At 2 degrees, we're above seasonal. -5 would be a normal low, so several degrees above that to begin the day. There's a bit of a breeze. It's out of the north-northeast, 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 92%. Satellite image shows the extra clouds that we'll see building up and the little bit of precipitation that we're seeing right now right along this very southern border. It's not going to last long. That'll push further to the south, but then there is still the possibility of some very scattered off and on showers throughout the day today, or depending where you're located, it could be flurry form across parts of northern Manitoba. The temperatures today will be close to seasonal, 4 degrees being normal. We'll even be just a degree above that, up to 5 degrees expected, but the winds will be increasing at times to about 40 kilometers per hour. So make sure that you're throwing on a windproof layer and maybe a waterproof layer. Like I said, that chance of showers is certainly there. Those temperatures overnight, they're going to be dropping just below the freezing mark, but still staying above seasonal, only down to about -1. We're going to start to see those clouds clearing out and a little more sunshine expected for tomorrow. Not a lot more heat for tomorrow, but by the end of the weekend, the improvements will come, and a lot of it will have to do with those winds shifting out of the south, getting a little bit stronger, gusting to 40 kilometers per hour, and with that stronger warm-up comes these double-digit temperatures to wrap up the weekend and carry us into the start of next week. And then it's not going to last long. Those temperatures falling off. We're going to be back to seasonal values by the middle or end of next week.
Legislation that gave the municipal board more power over local land use decisions is creating confusion and slowing down development. That's the conclusion of an independent review of the Planning Amendment and City of Winnipeg Charter Amendment Act, otherwise known as Bill 37, which was introduced by the previous PC government in 2021. It was intended to make planning and approvals easier and more transparent and create new ways to appeal local decisions. However, municipalities say they're being sidelined, and the review found the municipal board was largely unable to hear appeals on time. The province is accepting all 19 of the report's recommendations. Record-breaking rain drenched parts of New York Thursday. At least one person has died after being trapped in a flooded basement. Flash flooding and downed trees triggered commuter chaos. Water poured into New York's subway system. The conditions also made it a dangerous day for flying. Ground stops and thousands of delays stacking up at some of the busiest airports across the U.S. East Coast. A prince no more. In an extraordinary move by Buckingham Palace, King Charles announced he will remove his brother Andrew's royal title as he faces mounting pressure over his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. CTV's Joy Malpin has more on the man who will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
No longer a prince, effective immediately. In a stunning palace statement, Andrew was formally stripped of his royal style, titles and honors.
I am pretty astonished, I have to say. This is the strongest action against a member of the royal family.
King Charles making the painful decision to exile his younger brother, evicting him from his royal residence, a 30-room mansion where he reportedly lived rent-free. Ex-wife Sarah Ferguson also has to move out.
He's now going to move to the Sandringham estate. That's a private estate that's owned by the King in Norfolk, and that's going to be funded by the King also.
British headlines are brutal. The royals facing growing public pressure over Andrew's ties to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. He even hosted them at Windsor's royal mansion in 2006 after an arrest warrant had been issued for Epstein. Then there's Virginia Giuffre's new posthumous memoir, renewing claims she was sexually assaulted by Andrew as a teenager, a claim Andrew denied in that infamous BBC interview.
Categorically, I don't remember meeting her at all.
Despite continued denials, the palace says the censures against Andrew were necessary. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of abuse.
This is far from over. We're still getting that steady drip, drip, drip from the Epstein files.
Andrew's daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, will keep their titles. Critics say Andrew's shocking lack of judgment left King Charles no choice. Under intense public and political scrutiny, the former prince, now the biggest name to fall in the Epstein scandal.
A farm near Los Angeles was buzzing with life as people flocked to pick up bright marigolds ahead of the traditional Mexican Day of the Dead. Marigolds are known in Mexico as the flower of the dead. Families craft altars to honor the dead, often adorned with the flowers. The Day of the Dead is celebrated on November 1st and 2nd. The Winnipeg Jets top line were firing on all cylinders at home last night against the Chicago Blackhawks.
For this guy, Connor weaves his way in. Connor, Shifley fires, scores!
That was Mark Shifley's 9th goal of the season, placing him in a 5-way tie for the title of leading league scorer. The Jets down the Blackhawks 6-3. Winnipeg hosts the Pittsburgh Penguins Saturday afternoon. Puck drop at Canada Life Centre is 2 p.m. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 78th birthday to Percy from your family and friends at North 40 Ranch and Buddy, of course. Happy 60th birthday, Keith. Love John Paul, Dakota, Jet, and Utah. Happy 10th birthday, Dante, from Papa Bull, great-grandma Pung, his mother Cheyenne, and Damon, Kiea, and Milo. Happy 13th birthday to granddaughter Bristol. Love Lala and family. Happy 6th birthday, Luis, with love from your family. Happy birthday, Maya. Love from Nicholas, Victoria, and Matthew. Happy birthday, Paisley. Love Mimi, Pepe, Mom, Dad, Preston, and Paxton. Happy first birthday, Emmett. Love Mom and Dad. Happy anniversary to my husband, Roger, with love from your wife, Deb. And a happy 90th birthday to Joyce. Love and best wishes from your 3 children, 7 grandkids, and 15 great grandkids. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It will also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by MJ the Musical at Centennial Concert Hall, November 5th to 9th.
All right, so 5 degrees is where we're likely headed today, which will still keep us slightly above seasonal. A normal daytime high, that would be around 4. We did a little bit better last year, getting up to 7.9 degrees. In 1903, talk about a balmy trick-or-treating those kids would have had. 17.8 degrees, that was the record set. Now, we're not going to be setting any records today, obviously. We'll just barely be above seasonal. But the conditions, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, compared to what we can get Halloween, it's not going to be that bad. It might be a little bit breezy. We're right now sitting at 2 degrees. The winds at the moment are out of the north-northeast. They're 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 92%. Still waiting for the sun. That'll be happening or rising at about 8:16. And then it's going to be setting just after 6 o'clock. So you know it's going to be getting dark early on into the evening time. And those temperatures will start to drop off then as well. And we're only expecting to get up to 5 degrees today, which means by the time kids are headed out trick-or-treating, those temperatures start to fall off around 4 degrees, maybe down to 3, depending how long they stay out. We'll also notice the winds increasing throughout the day today. At times they could be gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour. And throughout the province, while it's a slim chance, the possibility is there of some scattered precipitation, showers through the south, or possible flurries across the north.
From chews, chips, and lollipops, many children will be coming home tonight with sacks full of candy. Those candies are filled with sugar, which can lead to cavities. But there are some treats that may not be as scary to their canines. Joining us now is dentist Dr. Kelly Regula. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, that's what happens. My kids come home, they have pillowcases full of candy. They spread it out, and they just want to go to town, right? And that's typically what happens on Halloween night. Kids will eat as much as they can.
Absolutely, and that's okay. I mean, Halloween is a wonderful holiday. I enjoyed it as a kid, and I'm sure parents, including myself, enjoy the treats that our kids bring home. However, we do want to protect our teeth in the long run.
Okay, so when they do open that bag, it's good to know which ones are better for your teeth and which ones are bad for your teeth. They're all kind of a little bit bad, right?
Yeah, so a couple things we want to keep in mind. We want to keep in mind the sugar content. So each treat has a different amount of sugar, and the American Heart Association actually recommends that you should have no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar.
Oh my gosh.
So if we look at what's on the table here, a lot of these do either meet or exceed the daily
in a big
allowance.
way. Yeah. Okay, so let's do a comparison then.
Sure.
Let's start with the bag of chips, because that's on the lower end of the sugar content, but they're chips, so they're salty, which is also another issue for their health.
Yes.
But let's talk about the sugar here.
So looking at one small bag of chips, it has approximately 1 teaspoon of sugar. Then when we move up, you can look at the gummy candies, which I have here that show 3 teaspoons of sugar.
Yep.
Then some children will get a juice box in their bag of treats. Those typically depend on the volume, but if it's a 200 milliliter volume, you might have approximately 5 teaspoons of sugar.
This is also in their lunch almost every day, which is a good thing to keep in mind as well.
And I've noticed schools have been switching to water.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of kids have a water bottle, so that's great. If you're looking at Smarties, to be honest with you, Smarties might be one of the better treats.
Okay.
Yes, it still has 5 teaspoons of sugar for 5 boxes, but it dissolves easily. So you're looking at your treats, what's going to stick in the teeth and what's going to disappear quickly. So I quite like the Smarties, or those candies that dissolve
I like them
easily.
too, maybe a little too much. All right, the Kit Kat.
Yes.
Lots of sugar here.
Yes, and that's partly because it's a full size. So I see those parents who hand out full-size candy bars, and their houses are inundated with kids. They're very popular. So that's okay, but that might be the only thing that your child can eat that night if you're following the recommendations of 6 teaspoons of added sugar.
I expect many won't. Can of pop, just regular, no diet here, just regular pop. Lots of sugar here.
Yeah, 10 teaspoons.
Wow.
I mean, that it far exceeds the recommended allowance. So while children will often get excited when they see that, parents, maybe you might want to keep that one for yourself and switch it out for a smaller one, because luckily we have small cans now.
Okay, so we're looking at all these candies, chips, whatever it is. Typically you will see this in their Halloween sacks tonight. What's the best way to get, because they're going to want to go to town. So how do you address that, allow it to happen, and still protect their teeth?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Halloween, as I said, is a wonderful holiday. We don't want to take away the thrill of Halloween, but I would say there's some really great ideas out there. Number one is, if there's something else your child likes, like an activity or a book or a Roblox gift card, do a switch, do a trade. That's a great idea. Alternatively, use it as a dessert. So you're eating your meal, follow it up from something from their treat bag. Or, you know what, on Halloween night, let them go to town. It's better than hiding it under the bed and grazing for weeks and all day.
Yes.
It's much better to have it at once, follow it up with some water or some sugar-free chewing gum, something to stimulate saliva and rinse away the sugars, than grazing all day long.
Because the sugar turns into acid, which is what chews away at your teeth.
Correct. And you have that protective layer of enamel that protects your teeth. The other thing you might want to consider is if your children see a dentist regularly, which we recommend, is Pitt and Fisher sealants. Those will help to seal the deep grooves in the molar teeth to protect those sticky candies or sticky chips from sticking in the grooves of the teeth.
Such great advice. So again, they're going to eat tonight, get them some water and sugar-free gum. Thank you for sharing this with us, Doctor.
It's a pleasure.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. We are taking a trip to Winnipeg for this one. It is the Jets and Blackhawks. Connor Bedard down low to Andre Burakovsky, goes between the legs, roofs it on Connor Hellebuck. Beauty finish right there from Burakovsky. Logan Stanley is defending him. Still pulls off the trickery. Went through both his legs and Stanley's, and that right there, your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we have got Tangerine Raptors basketball for you. It is the Raps and Cavaliers, and it all begins at 7 p.m. Eastern across the network. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a fantastic Friday.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Friday, October 31st. Coping with construction congestion. Drivers and businesses wonder when a huge St. James Road renewal project might be completed. Natural gas rates set to rise. What factors led the Public Utilities Board to okay an increase? And how much more will customers pay? And you're probably already tired of hearing it, but tweens and teens have made this widely popular nonsense phrase the word of the year. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Halloween to you. We are having a Halloween howl throughout the rest of the show. We have a lot of good stuff for you over the next hour, including some creepy crawlies, some creatures who are coming from Prairie Exotics. They're going to join us a little later. We're both dressed up. Ainsley's also dressed up. Her costume's pretty fantastic this morning. So is Kenny's. I was impressed that he participated.
Okay, Kenny, well, Kenny and Kenny, really, we've got a team of Kennys, but one of them is Dolly this morning. And honestly, you do need to stay tuned for this.
Absolutely.
If you need a couple's costume, this is your idea. Although this was beyond the effort that most people want to put into a costume.
She was here at 2 a.m. this morning.
That's commitment.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the weather tonight, kids are heading out. What are they expecting?
Yeah, so it is going to be, I mean, as far as Halloweens go, we know that we've been trick-or-treating in blizzards before. That's not going to be the case today. I've been saying it might be a little bit cool, but mostly due to the winds that will be increasing throughout the day. But even that, compared to some Halloweens, I think we're lucking in. 2 degrees is where we're sitting right now, still waiting for the sun to rise. That breeze at the moment is out of the north-northeast, 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 92%. We will notice those clouds stacking up and the possibility of some precipitation. Right now, along the satellite image, we're seeing just this most southern border with some activity there, but that's likely to clear out. Then left behind will be some very scattered precipitation, possible flurries across parts of northern Manitoba, or it will be showing up green here through the south, possible precipitation, but in more liquid form. So showers or flurries, but again, no one place is going to see a whole lot of that activity. The winds will get a little bit stronger. The temperatures will remain actually slightly above seasonal. The big warm-up actually happens as we continue on through the weekend. So by Saturday, clouds clearing out. We're starting to see a little more sunshine. Overnight, Saturday into Sunday, passing precipitation. It really settles up into central Manitoba throughout the day on Sunday, but here in the south it clears out and we've got really nice temperatures. Your trick-or-treating forecast is also looking not too bad. While it will be on the cloudier side with that chance of showers, 4 degrees expected. If you stay out much longer than that, it'll be dropping off to about 3. But still, temperatures for the next couple of days close to seasonal. The real spike comes as the sunshine comes out this weekend and we push up into those double digits. A trifecta of Halloween pictures sent in from the family of Brantley, Aspen, and Gracie May. Thank you for these. Keep the pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
There's frustration for many drivers as the city wraps up another season of construction, especially those traveling over a section of Portage Avenue between Cavalier and Sturgeon.
The traffic is wild. Customers complaining constantly of wait times, or the worst is, end of the day traffic, that 2:30 to 5 o'clock time when customers are coming back to pick up vehicles.
Chris Shea says his customers have been coping with the congestion on Portage for months. Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says this is one of the longest road projects ever, nearly 16 lane kilometers costing $5.3 million. Luke says losing 12 to 14 working days due to rain has been a factor, but shovels should have been in the ground earlier.
People are frustrated, and I feel their pain. I think personally, the city and the consulting firm should have got that project out the door sooner.
We reached out to the city to learn more about the timelines to complete the project and to find out what has caused the delays. They acknowledged our request and said they are working on getting us a response. Manitobans will be paying a little more for natural gas this winter. The Public Utilities Board of Manitoba approved a rate increase for November 1st of this year. The PUB approved increases to both the basic monthly and the delivery rate for natural gas. It said the average residential customer will see a 6.3% increase from their August rate. This means the average household will pay an additional $3 a month or $38 a year. The PUB said the increase is due to its expectation that natural gas purchase prices will rise over the next year. This means Manitoba Hydro will pay more for its natural gas supply. Natural gas rates will be reviewed again in 3 months. If you've heard dictionary.com's word of the year said out loud before, it probably was in the past month or two. 6-7. The word of the year isn't even really a word. If you're a parent, you've probably been flummoxed by this trend this fall, since kids of all ages seem to think saying it is hilarious. If you're wondering what it means, most people are, but the site is defining it as a phrase that can mean so-so, or maybe this, maybe that, when combined with that hand gesture. Meanwhile, Merriam-Webster says it's a nonsensical expression used especially by teens and tweens. Yeah, my kids are saying it. Here's a look at what's going on now on Donald Street. Things have picked up over here, as you can see, but overall, we have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Let's go back now to Kenny Rogers, who's joining us with Dolly Parton this morning for our Halloween howl. Good morning, Kenny.
Well, I would play my guitar and sing, but my vocal cords, they're a little strained from earlier this morning, and I think this might have just one string on it left. So Jacqueline's joining us this morning, the winner of our contest. Congratulations. We had so many submissions. I had a look at them too, by the way, you guys. It was a close call. A lot of passionate Halloween people in this city. Tell us about the space, because you yourself handmade all of it.
Yeah. Hand making things is a big part of Halloween. It makes us very nostalgic. We're bringing all the characters in. We're bringing that kind of little bit of janky Halloween from your childhood back into it. And the best thing about Halloween is really the community. So there's this group on Facebook, the Winnipeg Halloween Map, that I'm a part of, and so many of the other great submissions are also a part of here. And we all get together, we all visit each other's houses all Halloween. You can go on Facebook right now and make yourself a map of where you want to go trick-or-treating tonight. And on top of that, speaking of community, my community center here in East Elmwood is doing a carnival tonight. And for that carnival, I made a number of very fun games, and you can win prizes and you can win candy. And everyone's very excited about it. It's our inaugural one. Just trying to bring the community together in good ways for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of this too, because we want our communities to be safe. And I know this is kind of a separate conversation, but it really is part of it, because you're bringing people together.
Oh yeah, having people meet each other and talk to each other, it develops a bit of respect between neighbors that maybe isn't there all the time. So having that being hey, you're the guys who do that cool Halloween is really neat, because then they're going to respect your space a lot more.
And okay, switching gears a little bit, but scarers, you're going to have scarers here. I mean, not too spooky though, right?
Not too spooky, but you're going to recognize a lot of familiar horror faces tonight. Got lots of people dressing up for you.
What about right now?
I mean, there might be 1 or 2 lurkers this morning already.
How do the lurkers see through their Costume.
Well, the secret is it's not a costume.
Yeah, well, that's why I was looking for a synonym. I was like, how do they see through their attire? I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day.
Oh my gosh.
It took me several hours to do this. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? Go to the grocery store?
Yeah. And now I have
Why are you looking at me so weird?
In my head. Well, you look fabulous, Ains. Way to pull it through and bring it together for us. We appreciate it. Since the teardown of the Mindbender roller coaster in West Edmonton Mall, many people have been wondering what ride will replace it. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti finds out, roller coaster enthusiasts may have discovered the answer.
For as long as he can remember, Steve Phillip has been obsessed with roller coasters.
I got the Roller Coaster Tycoon game out of the cereal box, and then just going to Galaxyland when I was younger too, watching the Mindbender just became a really cool thing.
For decades, the Mindbender roller coaster with 3 loops thrilled people at West Edmonton Mall. It shut down in 2023 and has since been torn down.
The removal take place was definitely kind of heartbreaking, but I knew that something big was coming.
With the mall promising to replace it, Phillip and a global online community of roller coaster fans started to dig around.
There's even people all the way from Florida that are reaching out, asking questions, being like, I went on the Mindbender so many years ago.
When looking at the construction site, the amateur sleuth spotted the name of Vekoma, a Dutch roller coaster manufacturer. Then, by pure chance during an errand run, Phillip saw something familiar in a West Edmonton industrial yard.
I was driving down the road and saw the track. We had some rumors about the color, and the tarp was blown off. I was able to identify the colors, and instantly I put 2 and 2 together.
Dozens of pieces of orange and green tracks are now covered in blue tarps. Regardless of what it ends up looking like, the new ride will have big tracks to fill. University of Calgary physics professor Phil Langille uses roller coasters and other rides as a teaching tool.
You go super fast, you get squished into your seat really hard, you feel at times like you're going to come flying out of your seat.
He says the key to a good ride is a blend of different types of motions and forces.
A good roller coaster ride will bring you to the edge of being uncomfortable, but not over the top so that you're frightened out of your boots, right?
He says the mall will need to balance big enough thrills for adults while making sure kids enjoy it too. It's unclear when we'll know if that's been achieved, as West Edmonton Mall isn't letting anything slip, only telling us we're thrilled to see the excitement from fans and the community around our upcoming roller coaster. While we can't share more right now, we look forward to unveiling full details as we get closer to opening. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
A look now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower expert for more than 40 years. That is stunning. How gorgeous of a morning. That's a perfect Halloween sky, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say. All of the orange colors. Now, it's not going to stay that gorgeous and orange for long. Obviously, the sun will rise a little bit, and then it's going to just look a little bit gray, perhaps. Once the sun rises a little bit higher, these clouds will continue to stack up. There might be moments of sunshine today, but also some stronger winds. So I am recommending that you throw a bit of a windproof layer on under your costume. But otherwise, as far as Halloweens go, we're actually kind of lucking in with some pretty decent weather. Plus digits is where we begin the day all across southern Manitoba. A normal low would be about -5, so we're well above that this morning. Moving up into parts of northern Manitoba, and we are slipping just below the freezing mark with -1 in the Pas, -2 for Thompson and the Lynn Lake area. You do have the possibility of some precipitation across northern Manitoba, and with those slightly cooler temperatures, you may see a flake or 2 of snow. The possibility of precipitation here in the south will be in more liquid form if we see it at all. I know it's looking more active along this southern border right now, but all of this will be moving further to the south. And then it's just going to be some very scattered, patchy, possible activity throughout the day today. And that'll be pretty much no matter where you are today. That chance of showers or maybe flurries is there. 3 degrees as kids get settled into the classroom. 5 through the rest of the day today. That's our expected high. 4, though, is seasonal. We'll do a little better tomorrow, a little more sunshine, and a lot more sunshine with double digits as we're looking ahead to the weekend. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. Some creepy crawlies coming up on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Very pleased with the outcome is how Prime Minister Mark Carney describes his meeting with China's Xi Jinping at the APEC summit in South Korea. He hailed it as a turning point in our nation's ties with China. And it marked the first formal sit-down in 8 years between leaders of the two nations. And Xi said that China is willing to work with Canada to push China-Canada ties to return to the correct track of being healthy, stable, and sustainable as soon as possible. Carney also saying his government will soon announce more than 20 investments in critical minerals projects with a total value of about $2 billion Canadian. The announcements will come today at the Group of 7 Energy Ministers meeting in Toronto. Carney said that during a speech at the APEC summit, and that was the CEO summit in South Korea on Friday. No other details were provided. The S&P 500 is set for a 6th month of gains after Amazon and had some blowout results fueled a rebound in stocks following a brief pause in the global rally. Futures on the U.S. benchmark rose as Amazon jumped 13% in pre-market trading, a move set to add about $300 billion to its market value after reporting the fastest cloud unit growth in nearly 3 years. Apple also advanced on a revenue beat and upbeat holiday forecast. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Spiders, snakes, and bats can be terrifying throughout the year, but they're even more spooky at Halloween time. And joining us now with real-life creepy creatures is Steve Rempel from Prairie Exotics. Good morning, Steve. You brought a bunch of creepy crawlies with you this morning, including this snake that I'm holding. Tell us who this guy is.
Simon is a milk snake found in Mexico.
Okay, and what do they eat and what do they do in their daily lives?
They're a rodent. They're not venomous. They're harmless, but they mimic the one like a coral snake that is venomous. So when the wild animals realize that he looks very similar, they're going to avoid him thinking he's venomous, but he's not. He's just a trickster.
Really? Eh? He's really cold, which is, I know he's trying to get into my shirt here. Where did you go, buddy? There you are. Okay, and he's very cold to the touch, which is...
They're cold-blooded or ectothermic, so they go to the temperature around them because it was a little cooler outside, and walking down the road, they cool down a little bit.
Okay.
So when they go into the sun, they'll warm up, and then if they get too hot, they go into the shade to cool down.
Okay, what else did you bring us here?
We got a scorpion here, glows in the dark, and then the tarantula. It's a curly-haired tarantula.
See, to me, spiders are the ones that I'm afraid of, especially if they have hair. And this guy does, obviously. Tell us a little bit about his life and where he comes from.
Honduras is a curly-haired tarantula, one of the 3 legal ones in Winnipeg. In Manitoba, you can have all sorts of different tarantulas, but Winnipeg's bylaw allows us just to have 3, and he's one of the ones you can have.
Okay.
Pretty much full size. Males live 7 to 8 years. Girls can live 18 to 20, so a little bit longer, a little bit bigger. Those hairs that look like they might be fuzzy and fun to pet, they're actually itchy, and it's part of their defense to make sure that you'll leave them alone. But if he were to bite you, which he's unlikely to waste his time doing that, you'd more likely run away. It's about the same as a bee sting, so pretty much harmless. But it looks like Henry here might want to try to eat him.
Tell us about Henry. Oh, is that what he's doing?
Henry is a smooth-sided toad.
He's a very unique-looking guy, too.
The tarantula might be a little big for him, but he would eat spiders and insects, other stuff like that in the wild.
So he's eyeballing him.
Yep, check him out.
Tell us a little bit about his life.
They live about 7 to 8 years as well. You're going to have a moist enclosure, 10, 15-gallon fish tank, aquarium style, with dirt on the bottom, little pond for them, hides and stuff like that. They don't climb too much, so you don't need too high of an enclosure with that one.
That's really cool. Okay, this guy, I've never seen anything like this before. What is that?
It's a blue-tongued skink. So skinks are found all over the world. It's just a type of lizard, like a monitor gecko.
I just saw it.
And so like I was saying, he likes to trick people into thinking he's dangerous. This guy does the same thing. Using that blue tongue, he'll stick out his blue tongue, wiggle around, and predators might think he's venomous because of the blue tongue, but he's completely harmless. He's an omnivore. He eats everything. We actually have a skink here in Manitoba, the prairie skink found in the Spruce Woods Desert.
That is so cool.
Not as big as this guy, though.
No, and he's very unique looking, too. Okay, you're holding a little guy. Who's this guy?
This is Chicken Nugget.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is he?
This is a gecko. It comes from New Caledonia there. It's called a Leachiatus gecko, and they're one of the largest, next to the tokay gecko. When she's full size, she'll be from here to about here. They're pretty cool. They got little wrinkly puppy skin.
Yeah. What does she eat?
These guys mainly rotting fruit, nectars, and sap, and then a little bit of bugs on the side. So a little bit of protein, but mainly fruits and stuff. So very easy to take care of. These guys can live 15 to 20 years. Don't need much for heat, a little bit of light, and then the fruit. So these guys are a pretty awesome pet. They do just get a little bit larger. larger.
Not too creepy, that one. He's so chill, eh?
Really, honestly, none of these are creepy for me. They're all my fans, but I mean, like you said, the tarantula is a little on the creepier side.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, you have a bigger snake here. Tell us about this one.
Nanners is trying to wear a mask of the crocodile skull. Well, we'll just
let him do his thing, yeah. So tell us about where he's from.
Western Africa. That is a ball python. They're a very common pet. So being a male, he's about full size right now. Girls do get a little bit larger. They can potentially live 50 to 60 years though, though it's more common that they're going to live about 35, 40.
The toad's on the hunt. Maybe looking for some Halloween treats this morning.
No tarantulas.
You actually provide educational sides to your business. Tell us a little bit about
Schools, daycares, birthdays, libraries, scouts groups, anything like that. You can book a private tour if you want to come visit us, see all the animals. We're just 20 minutes outside the city. But we can bring some of the animals to you. Obviously, within Winnipeg, there are some restrictions, but all the ones we have here today would be allowed.
Well, isn't that fun? Not so creepy after all. Thank you so much for sharing this with us and bringing all these little creepy crawlies.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and even our forecast isn't too creepy today. The sun is finally up now, and it's looking beautiful at the moment. Oh my goodness, there's probably about 100 geese that are headed south. Oh, that's not a good sign. But we're seeing a little bit of blue sky right now through these clouds, and we might enjoy moments of sunshine today, but overall it will likely be on the cloudier side. It's 2 degrees right now with a bit of a breeze out of the north. That's 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. Humidity is sitting at 91%. So the geese may be escaping, but it's only signs of what's to come. As far as the conditions go, it's actually going to warm up before it drops off again, so those geese might change their mind yet. We will enjoy perhaps some moments of sunshine as we're seeing right now, but then the clouds building up and the possibility of scattered precipitation across the province today, maybe showing up as showers here in the south or possible flurries across the north. But no one place is going to be hit by a lot. It'll be very brief and just off and on if you do in fact see some of that precipitation. The winds will be getting stronger, so keep that in mind. They could at times be gusting to about 40 clicks this afternoon. A little more sunshine for Saturday, a little more sunshine by Sunday, and that's when those temperatures will really start to rise. I love this yard, so creative and clever. Thanks to Farron for the photo, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Hey ho, search your closets and drawers for old macarons, pictures, stories, and other memorabilia as Festival du Voyageur wants to showcase them this upcoming February. The festival is looking for items from the past as it's getting ready to celebrate its 60th anniversary in 2029. Joining us now is the Festival du Voyageur's Director of Heritage and Education Programs, Colin Mackey. Good morning, Colin.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Hey ho to you. It's a little early for Festival.
It's never too early for Festival. No,
we're
never.
already getting ready for it, but you're especially getting ready for it because you're getting closer to a big anniversary, and you want people to go and search into some drawers and some cupboards and look for some old memorabilia. Why is that?
So we are starting a Festival du Voyageur museum. So over the next 4 years leading to the 60th, we're going to display a bunch of items that have sort of made a part of the fabric of Festival du Voyageur. So we have several different themes that we're going to work on and focus on over the years. So in 2026, it'll be the arts at Festival. So, which of course makes a huge component of what we do. So we're talking musicians, snow sculptures, dancers. You know, we do lots of the jig, and l'ensemble folklorique is heavily involved, and also handicrafts and arts like that. So sash weaving. But we want to be able to showcase some of that cool, and I'm going to use a museum world, material culture that we have as a part of our heritage.
And macarons were, of course, a huge part of Festival. In fact, many people collected them over the years.
Absolutely.
They changed throughout the decades, and you have a few examples of some of them. Tell us a little bit about what you have here so far.
Absolutely. So actually on this toque, this is the classic, either on your sash or on your toque. On this one right here, we have a button from the very first Festival, right, from 1970. you'll notice it actually says Festival of the Voyageur. You know, very inclusive, both official languages back in the day. So yeah, that's a really neat one. We have buttons that were produced for different events. So lots of times the buttons were your pass to get in. So there will be years on them. But there were also tons of competitions. So some of my favorite ones are the beard growing competitions, right? So you have buttons like this. This guy has a wild beard with a raccoon cap, right? Yes. You have Concours du Meilleur, which was the old, right there, which was, you know, Voyageur contest, and look at his Voyageur muscles, having a good time. And of course, a lot of the buttons will also feature the official families. So over the years, you know, you'll have different families on the buttons. So yeah, a great representation of kind of the different events Festival has done over the years, but also what we're representing to the public too.
You also brought a lot of literature, some of the old booklets from those eras, and this is what you want people to look for, right?
Absolutely, this kind of thing, buttons. There's also some strange ones out there, like here's a banner, you know, maybe you had that up in your bedroom as a kid. One of the neat things that we've noticed over the years, Festival used to sponsor a bunch of student sports activities. Okay. Right. So here's one from 1980 from a student participant one. They used to have like hockey tournaments and, you know, curling bonspiels and volleyball and basketball tournaments. Wow. So we'd love to see some of those ribbons. Those are some of the things that we gave away over the years. So as an organization, we don't really have that stuff still in our collections, and we love to be able to talk about those stories and share it with our visitors.
You're looking for photos, macarons, anything like this, and what do they do if they find something?
So if you find something, you can give us a call, 204-237-7692. You can send us an email, info@heho.ca, or you can even drop it off at our offices, which are located at 233 Provencher Boulevard.
Colin, thank you for sharing this with us and bringing all these really cool memorabilia.
Well, thank you very much.
Anytime.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Ooh, look at that sky. Honestly, so perfectly timed for Halloween. All those oranges and the creepy clouds. Although those creepy clouds, we'll actually see some blue sky and sunshine once that sun rises a little bit higher today. 2 degrees at the moment, north winds 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 91%. Now, it's not going to be all blue sky and sunshine. We'll actually see those clouds building up, and probably mainly cloudy conditions is what you can expect out of the day. But these temperatures, they're above seasonal already, and it will remain quite mild. The possibility of precipitation there, it's looking quite active on that southern border, all of that moving further south, and then whatever is left over will be so scattered and patchy. I mean, you might see a brief passing shower, or depending where you are through parts of northern Manitoba, a brief round of flurries, touch and go, and not amounting to too much, but that chance of precipitation is there for many places around the province. As far as temperatures go, 5 degrees expected. 4 is in fact normal for this time of year. So above seasonal temperatures, but you will notice those winds increasing out of the northwest and at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. So that wind, yeah, it's going to have a little bit of a bite to it. That wind is, though, going to taper off into the evening overnight as we drop down to -1 and those clouds begin to clear, and that'll set us up for a little more sunshine on Saturday. Saturday is actually going to be looking good, not feeling a whole lot better. We'll still be close to those seasonal temps, 6 degrees with strong south winds up to 40 kilometers per hour. The real warm up comes Sunday and into Monday when double digits are going to wrap the weekend and kick off next week. We will eventually slide right back, though, to those seasonal temps by the middle of the week.
It's a good news, bad news situation when it comes to the doctor shortage in Manitoba. Doctors Manitoba says they've had record-breaking amounts of new physicians entering the Manitoba workforce for each of the past 2 years. But that strong growth has been undercut by a lack of retention.
It's one thing to get a doctor to come to the area, but it's another to retain them.
According to a new report from Doctors Manitoba, we lose more doctors to other provinces than we gain, a loss of 8.3 physicians per 1,000. Nearly half of all doctors are considering reducing their hours or leaving Manitoba in the next 3 years. 21% are thinking about retiring in the same period, and many of the students on their way up won't be practicing here once they graduate. Lots going on this weekend. Halloween, the World Series, perfect timing for a clock change. A friendly reminder, daylight saving time ends on Sunday. This means clocks go back at an hour at 2 a.m. for most of the country. It's an extra hour of sleep, which could work out for a lot of people. And going forward, the sun comes up earlier, but sets earlier as well. It's holiday versus history, with families choosing between trick-or-treating and the first pitch of the World Series.
Was exhilarating, but also, this is exhilarating for me too, so it's a conflict between the two.
Longtime Jays fan Christopher Arnott turns his front yard into a yard haunt for Halloween, but this year he's convinced everyone will be back inside their homes for the start of the Jays game. Others say they're setting up a TV outside. There are also some watch parties going on around the country that will most likely be a mashup of Blue Jays pride and scary costumes. A celebration of life, community, and hockey in Halifax saw NHL star Brad Marchand return to his home province to support one of his best friends. The family is dealing with the tragic loss of a child. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has more on the moving tribute that took the Panthers players off the ice and onto the bench.
It's something NHL player Brad Marchand is likely used to, being mobbed by young fans looking for an autograph. But when the puck was dropped at this special game, Marchand was on the bench, trying something new, coaching a hockey game while managing his emotions.
This is where we need to be. We need to be together. I need to be supporting each other.
The Cole Harbour Hunters U18 hockey team is coached by JP McCallum, one of Marchand's best friends. Last week, when McCallum's 10-year-old daughter, Seela, passed away from cancer, Marchand took a break from the NHL to be here in his home province for his friend.
JP has been one of my closest friends since I was 12 years old.
In addition to working as a guest coach, the game also served as a fundraiser. Those who attended say, when times are tough, this community comes together. In this case, to make sure the McCallum family knows they are not alone.
I'm not surprised. This is how Nova Scotia supports everybody here in Nova Scotia.
We care. And we're special talent when it comes to helping people rise back up.
Marchand said when he approached the Florida Panthers about coming back to Halifax for this game, he received full support from the entire team.
The Panthers organization's been incredible. They, right away, they were extremely understanding. Just, go home and just tell us when you're coming back. We're a family at this point. What the family's going through and the loss of Seela is devastating to all of us and the entire community.
A community that rallied to show their support, led by a hockey star who found his way home to a game filled with emotion and meaning. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Let's take a look now at what's going on in traffic along Osborne Street. Things appear to have moved pretty well in this part of the city. No issues to tell you about. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is lower at $1.27. In Winnipeg, the average is the same. And the lowest price in the city is $1.16. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For our question of the day, we wanted to know, what are your plans for Halloween tonight? Gerald says they'll be handing out candy, then heading out to watch the Blue Jays win the World Series. Craig says he'll be watching his wife give out candy while the Jays game is on. Joy plans to dust off either a VHS tape or DVD and the player to watch Hocus Pocus while handing out wagon wheel treats. Jackie is heading to Wheelie's roller rink after trick-or-treating. Sounds fun. Corinne will be handing out candy to the 150 kids they get and will also be watching and cheering for the Blue Jays for the win. Ian's plan tonight is to celebrate his Halloween birthday with his family. Thank you so much for all your responses. Halloween brings out ghosts and goblins, but there are spots around the Vancouver area that are said to be haunted year-round. We take you now inside a heritage building whose occupants swear is a center of paranormal activity. CTV's Sinjin Alexander reports.
The visitor would always arrive unannounced. So often, woodland artist James Groney accepted it was imminent. While he worked alone in the basement of Native Art Renaissance on Carnarvon, the unmistakable sound of pacing above. And whenever he put down his brush to see who was there, nothing.
It didn't really freak me out. It was more of an annoyance because I always had to run upstairs while I was doing stuff.
At Grand Central Consignment next door, owner Celeste Tan was spooked by the gray figure of a man who came up from the basement and then across her shop.
I just froze, but I just said to it, like, I'm just here to do my work. I'll leave you in peace, and I just hope you leave me in peace to do my work.
Like many structures on Carnarvon, their building, built in 1903, is connected through the basement by tunnels, most of it now boarded up.
It's believed that prisoners were taken through the tunnels, and they were used for all kinds of miscellaneous things as well, from deliveries to just people traveling between buildings.
For a long time, Groening's wife and daughter refused to go downstairs, saying, "It doesn't feel right."
And even when they were here by themselves, they would lock the door at the top of the steps.
The gray man, I have been actually looking and researching and searching for him.
Paranormal investigator Amanda Quill was hired to figure out who or what might be here.
I believe it's a prisoner. I believe that there is shame, but there's also regret of what's been missed in life, regret of where they're going.
Groening conducted his own experiment using a technique called spirit painting.
When you're making different shapes, they could be all over the place like that. And then whatever comes out.
What came out was the figure of a large red snake, which a Cree elder believes may signify a bridge to the afterlife.
I think it's haunted. I think it's just in the bones of the city. And being in the tunnel system, that's from the beginning.
Whatever's here, no one has ever been threatened or hurt. But further evidence found hanging in the tunnel suggests others have also encountered the visitor. St. John Alexander, CTV News, New Westminster.
So spooky. Love those ghost stories, Terry.
Love it too. Yeah, absolutely. I thought today was going to look a lot scarier than is actually shaping up to be, and that's because I'm standing here enjoying some blue sky and sunshine. However, off to the west, I am seeing some darker, more ominous-looking clouds. They're looming. So we'll probably see those clouds increasing throughout the day today. Temperature-wise, though, we're really lucking in with these above-seasonal temps, at least to kick off your morning. 2 degrees is where we're sitting right now. There will be a bit of a breeze increasing. Right now, that wind on the lighter side, or moderate at least, is out of the north at about 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 91%. Now, it is very likely that the bits of blue sky we're seeing right now will disappear as the clouds build up, and the chance of some scattered precipitation through the day today, it depends where you are. For northern Manitoba, with your temperatures just a couple degrees cooler, you may see a few flakes of snow. Here in the south, we do see that precipitation because it is a slim chance no matter where you are in the province. But if we do see it here in the south, it'll likely be in shower form. Now, those winds I mentioned, they'll likely increase. A northwest wind at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. So that might add just a little bit of a bite. A windproof layer would be a good idea because those temps will be cooling as the kids head out trick-or-treating. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Halloween is today, and a new poll is showing how many Canadians will be taking part in the fun. The poll, conducted on behalf of the Retail Council of Canada, found 3/4 of households across the country have bought candy for the big night, and about half also bought a pumpkin. When it comes to putting up new decor, the poll found 3 in 10 stocked up on decorations, while just 1/4 bought a costume this year. It's Halloween, and veterinarians want to make sure everyone in the family has a good time. CTV's Gates Guarian has more on how to keep pets safe and comfortable on what can be a stressful night.
Costume treat seekers will soon be going door to door to get their fill, but chocolate and candy left in reach of pets could end up doing some serious harm.
There's a sugar molecule called xylitol that, when ingested, can cause severe low blood sugar in dogs, can even cause them to have a seizure.
Veterinarian Marie Hollowaychuk says it's best to keep candy bags off the floor where curious dogs and cats can't get to them. That doesn't mean they can't have a Halloween treat of their own.
Plain pumpkin, unpainted, unglitter, no wax. You can puree that and give your animal a little treat because that is what they like a lot.
Candy isn't the only thing that could upset our pets. Costumes, decorations, and noises of people coming and going can be overwhelming. Brenda Leonard with Scars says the best way to help is by creating a safe space in your home.
It's really best if you can keep your animals away from the door in a nice room, set them up with maybe TV or radio going and some treats in there until all the commotion is finished with.
And if your pet is getting in on the costumes, find one that's lightweight and doesn't block their vision to keep them comfortable. If your pet is tagging along trick-or-treating, both Leonard and Hollowaychuk say to make sure they have ID and are chipped, and to keep dogs on a leash.
We want Halloween to be fun for everybody, and of course that includes our pets. So we want this to be enjoyable.
And remembering just a few tips can make Halloween not just fun for pets, but safe too. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Dressing up once a year for Halloween is fun, but imagine dressing up in a costume all year long. That's what one local man has been doing for years, dressing up like Johnny Depp's pirate character, Jack Sparrow. He's now here as Jack in the Peg. Joining us is Jack in the Peg. Good morning, Jack. Nice
My distinct pleasure once again.
Oh, thank you. Look at this.
Thank you for inviting me back. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Now, you've been dressing up like Jack Sparrow for how many years?
Since Halloween 2014. I went out twice that year to won for best costume both times.
Wow.
So apparently my wife saw something in me. I don't know. By myself, I didn't look too much like Johnny Depp, but hey, it worked.
I think you look like very much like Johnny Depp.
Yeah, thank you.
It looks amazing, and so it just never stopped. You didn't want to stop wearing this.
No, actually, I kept going every Halloween, and it was great. Everybody loved the costume, and I won a few more prizes, but I thought there's got to be something more I could do. So a few friends suggested, why don't you go out and about and appear at different places and maybe start doing charity work and fundraisers. And that's where it all started back in 2019. Started showing up at Bomber games, Jets games, Gold Eyes, you know, and then July 1st, Folklorama, Red River X. And everybody started to get to know me. And since I don't charge for selfies, all the families come with all their kids, the old people. Jack Sparrow is a real crowd pleaser for literally every age group and background.
And this doesn't just happen in 15 minutes. It takes hours to put this together, right?
Oh, no. No, this morning I had to get up at 6:11. Normally, I could throw it together relatively quickly for approximately, 45 minutes, but it's not as good as it is here. I literally have virtually all of my gear except for my long coat.
Okay.
I didn't want to cover it up.
Right. Okay,
Yes.
so you also brought some really cool props here. Tell us what this is all about.
Okay. Well, if you are into Pirates of the Caribbean, and I hope you are, then you will recognize this. This is the Jaw of Dirt, where he goes, I got a jaw of dirt, I got a jaw of dirt. Okay.
And what is supposed to be in the jar of dirt?
Davy Jones' heart. He takes it out of here and he puts it in there so that nobody knows he's got it.
Oh, he's
and
so
then
sneaky.
even Davy Jones doesn't know he's got it, so when he says, I got a jaw of dirt, Davy Jones is looking at him like he's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's in it. And then this also doubles as a treasure chest with all the coins for the kiddies.
There you go.
Yes, because that's what I do. I keep a pouch here, and I give all the coins to the kiddies and pictures for the parents, and of course, and I also carry my business cards because I do any kind of event, but I really enjoy doing charities and fundraisers and things like that.
Well,
that's what really drives me.
Well, that is amazing, and you're doing some important work, but isn't it exhausting doing this, or you still love it as much as you have?
I love it. You know, I once, just recently I saw Kevin Bacon on a talk show, and he tried to go incognito, and he says he hated it. He loved the recognition. He loved people coming up to him. He thought he hated it, but he actually loves it. And I love it wherever I go. People are so genuine and loving with me and respectful. They call me icons. They call me a star here in Winnipeg. And I don't call myself that, but they do. And some of them come to tears. I give hugs and everything. I just absolutely really adore this work.
And people recognize you all over the place. I've seen you on the street sometimes. I've seen you, of course, at certain events.
Yes.
You're sort of a Winnipeg icon.
I guess so. When you think about it, I mean, would you recognize one of our hockey or football players walking down the street by their face? Probably not. But when they see me, they can see me a mile away. They know it's me.
Well, it's good to see you. You've been on our show before. We're going to go to weather, but I want you to throw to Terry.
Okay. Alas, my children, this is a day you shall always remember as a day you did, in fact, catch Jack in the Peg here at CTV Morning Show with Rochelle, and now off to the wonderful, beautiful Terry.
Get out of here, you scallywags. All right, 2 degrees right now, and we're seeing just a few clouds out there. Sun is still able to peek through. For now, we'll see how long that lasts. The winds are out of the north. They're 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 91%. So yes, we're seeing brief bits of sunshine right now. We'll see those clouds increasing, though. There's a look at the satellite image. Any of this precipitation, that's going to be clearing out, and then as it does, there is just the chance of some scattered precipitation. Now, depending where you are, slightly cooler temperatures across northern Manitoba. You may see a flake or two of snow. If we see that precipitation here in the south, and again, it's just a chance, it will likely show up as showers. 5 degrees expected today, stronger winds increasing, 6 degrees tomorrow, and these temperatures increasing, very mild and even a little bit sunnier as we're looking ahead to the weekend. We are taking a break right now, but stick around. We're coming back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we've been having quite a Halloween howl here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley, of course, went to the effort to do Kenny Rogers, which is fantastic.
The gambler.
Absolutely amazing. Ainsley, thank you for doing this for us today. You look spectacular.
It feels odd.
Actually, a beard stuck to your face. It must be strange.
Yeah, and it's real hair. No, I'm just kidding.
I knew I'd scare you. It looks awesome. You look awesome.
Yes, Terry,
I'm
you got your crown back on.
Princess,
Yes.
loving this fun day. It was so much fun. Before we send you off, we're going to have some videos for you. If you can't find someone to sing with, just duet with yourself. Oh, weird.
Oh my God, the hands.
All you have to do is paint faces on your face like Miriam did. Now she can sing both parts of Summer Lovin' from the movie Grease without any problem. That is cool. And so trippy, isn't it? Very cool. Oh. Love it. That does it for us. Have a wonderful Halloween.
Happy Halloween.